Chapter 755. Oh. Ling Tian was slightly stunned. Xia Zhili frowned. Although Song Bilian spoke of this matter in a dignified manner, and it seemed like he had sacrificed a lot, in reality, it was basically impossible for Xiao Chen to disrupt the demon sect's gathering. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Therefore, Song Bilian would not suffer any losses. On the other hand, Xiao Chen would be too embarrassed to mention his promotion in the future because he did not complete this task. However, Xia Zhili did not say anything. He wanted to see what Xiao Chen thought. Although it was obviously impossible, what if Xiao Chen had a way? Now that Xiao Chen had surprised him again and again, he was full of confidence in Xiao Chen. He felt that Xiao Chen could create miracles. Deputy Bureau Chief Song, I don't think it's good to give this task to Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. After all, his personal ability is limited. This is a group matter, not a child's play. Ling Tian frowned and said, I know what you are thinking, but if this kind of thing is messed up, it will not benefit either of us. Song Bilian's face suddenly turned red. Ling Tian clearly saw through his thoughts. At this time, he was a little embarrassed. I was thinking that Deputy Bureau Chief Yang is a young talent. Since he is capable, he should be more tolerant. It's not a big deal. Well. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, what do you think? Ling Tian hesitated and asked. I can only say that we can try. Xiao Chen was still very concerned about the affairs of the outer martial arts world, especially when it involved the Kuei Mountain sect. Xiao Chen was not willing to let it go easily. Now that there was such a legitimate opportunity to investigate, Xiao Chen really had to thank Song Bilian. However, there were some things that had to be made clear. After all, the Devil Gate Conference was not something that Xiao Chen could stop alone. If Xiao Chen could stop this kind of event, he would have brought Cheng Menjing back long ago. Why would he let her suffer in the Kuei Mountain sect? Moreover, he could force the Kuei Mountain sect to reveal his father's whereabouts and the mastermind behind it. Therefore, this was not realistic at all. It's good to try. Song Bilian said, since Deputy Bureau Chief Yang is confident, then this matter will be handed to him. What do you all think? Xia Zhili thought about it and nodded. Let's try our best. If Deputy Bureau Chief Yang can't do it, we have other ways. We can't just ignore him. Of course. Ling Tian nodded his head, let's all work hard to think of a way. Actually, Ling Tian had no confidence that Xiao Chen would be able to complete the mission. In fact, he himself knew that he had no way of interfering with the affairs of the outer martial world. These demonic sects would not listen to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Next, let's talk about how to deal with Wang Chaik, Song Bilian said. Wang Chaik is a good person. He performed well in this auction. He was the one who called out the bids and cooperated with me to successfully escape. So I don't think we should touch him, Xiao Chen said. Well. Deputy Director Xia is the Deputy Director in charge. What do you think? Ling Tian was slightly taken aback. He naturally knew that Wang Chaik was Song Bilian's man, but why did Xiao Chen speak up for him? Xia Zhili was also taken aback. Xiao Chen held a meeting as soon as he came back. He didn't have time to talk about Wang Chaik's matter. However, Xia Zhili and Xiao Chen already had a tacit understanding and trust each other. So when Xiao Chen said this, he naturally followed suit. It's good that he knows his mistakes and can change. I think we should forget about this matter. Song Bilian's face was a little ugly. Wang Chaik betrayed him and even scolded him. He naturally wanted to use today's opportunity to teach Wang Chaik a lesson and let this guy know the consequences of betrayal. But now that Xia Zhili said so, it was not good for him to continue. If it was any other time, he would definitely not let it go. Even if he made things difficult for Ling Tian, he would argue with him. However, he had just tricked Xiao Chen to deal with the demonic sex event. If he made some more requests, Ling Tian would definitely not support it. Since Deputy Bureau Chief Xia has said so, then I won't say anything more. Song Bilian said resentfully. After the meeting, the matters of the meeting quickly reached Wang Chake's ears. Because every meeting was recorded by Deputy Bureau Chief Zhang, it would be transferred to the archives for archiving. As long as it was not specifically stated to be confidential, everyone could check it out. Dang dang dang. Xiaochen just returned to the office with Xia Zhili and heard a knock on the door. Who is it? Asked Xiaochen. Brother Yang. Oh, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, it's me, Wang Chake. Wang Chake's voice came from outside the door. Come in, said Xiaochen. Wang Chake pushed the door open and walked in respectfully. He said to Xiaochen and Xia Zhili, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, thank you for speaking up for me at the meeting. I will follow in your footsteps in the future. I won't let you down. Xia Zhili didn't answer but turned to look at Xiaochen. Wang Chake is already one of us. He has fallen out with Song Bilian. Xiaochen pointed to Wang Chake and said, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, if there is anything in the future, just instruct him to do it. Now Team B and Team C are basically our people. This is also to prepare for you to become the Executive Deputy Bureau Chief in the future. It turns out to be like this. Xia Zhili nodded. Since Xiaochen said that this Wang Chake was one of them, then he accepted it. Okay, little Wang, you will work under me in the future. Just be obedient. Don't think too much. Go back and work well. Yes, thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Wang Chake nodded quickly and said to Xiaochen, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, then I will leave first. Go ahead, but be careful of Song Bilian. Don't let him get hold of it, said Xiaochen. Don't worry. I will not do anything outside of my duties in the future. Even if I want to do something, I will tell Deputy Bureau Chief Xia and Deputy Bureau Chief Yang immediately. Wang Chake replied. After Wang Chake left, Xiaochen told Xia Zhili about Wang Chake's matter. Xia Zhili nodded happily after listening. Song Bilian, this old man, let's see what he can use to go against me this time. Now that Team C and Team B are under our control, he is just a newcomer team. He can't do anything. Yes, but we are not monopolizing power. It's just that some people are causing trouble and the efficiency is low. Now, the execution is better. Xiaochen nodded. As for the Executive Deputy Bureau Chief, I'm afraid it won't work. Ling Tian has postponed his retirement indefinitely, so I won't have any chance. Xia Zhili sighed. I'm not much younger than him. Now it seems that I will retire from this position. That might not be the case, right? Xiaochen said, the Demonic Gate Conference is inevitable, and it is indeed related to Deputy Bureau Chief Ling's Team A, so the delay is normal, but it shouldn't be too long. Once this matter is resolved, he should retire normally. I hope so. Xia Zhili nodded. Oh right, are you confident about the Demonic Gate Conference? No, I actually want to investigate my father, so I took this mission. Xiaochen said truthfully. However, although it has been said before, it is still a bit embarrassing if you didn't complete the mission. This is not good for your future promotion. Xia Zhili said, but if you want to investigate your father, you still have to accept it. Yes. As Xiaochen spoke, his phone suddenly rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Lan Xinxin calling. Xiaochen picked up the phone. Lan Xinxin, what's the matter? Xiaochen, where are you? Lan Xinxin asked. I'm in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. What's the matter? Xiaochen didn't know why Lan Xinxin called at this time. Today I have an appointment to go for a physical examination, and then there is a very annoying male friend who wants to accompany me. Can you come and help? Lan Xinxin said. Help? How can I help? Help you beat him up? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. If you don't want someone to accompany you, just refuse. What else can you do? It's not that. I told him that I have an appointment with a boyfriend. He didn't believe me and insisted on coming to see. Lan Xinxin said with some depression, if I don't have a boyfriend, then he will definitely think that I lied to him, and then continue to pester me. That will be annoying. So you want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? Xiao Chen guessed Lan Xinxin's intention at once. Yeah. I thought about it. Among my male friends, I have the best relationship with you. Moreover, we have slept together before. It should be natural for you to pretend to be my boyfriend. It won't be seen through. Lan Xinxin said. What do you mean slept together? Xiao Chen suddenly had black lines on his head and said, I can accompany you, but only this time. As long as you make him give up, then it's fine. Lan Xinxin said happily, when are you free? When are you going for a physical examination? Xiao Chen asked. This afternoon. Lan Xinxin said. It's noon now. Where are you? Xiao Chen looked at the time. I'm at the entrance of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. You can see me when you come out. Lan Xinxin said. You have planned this for a long time. Xiao Chen felt that he seemed to be fooled. Lan Xinxin called him only after she came. It didn't matter whether he agreed or not. No way. I just passed by here, and then I suddenly thought of it, so I called to ask. Lan Xinxin explained. Well, you wait for me downstairs. Xiao Chen didn't have a car from the airport before. Lan Xinxin sent him, so she wouldn't refuse to help at this moment. Why? Is there something? Xia Zhili asked with a smile. It's Lan Xinxin. She wants me to pretend to be her boyfriend to deceive another person who is pestering her. Xiao Chen didn't hide it. Then you go. There's nothing else here. You should be prepared to go to the outer Wulin. Xia Zhili said, there's nothing else during this time. I'll help you keep an eye on it. Chapter 756. Thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Xiao Chen really didn't want to stay here every day. He would be bored to death. Go ahead. I know you can't stay here. Young people don't like to sit in the office. Xia Zhili said with a smile, but you have to be careful when you interact with the Wang family. Don't get hung up on. Then, I can't stand up for you. I know. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. He thought, I have been hung up on. I don't need to be careful. Wang Tietio is living in my own house. Outside the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's office building, Xiao Chen saw Lan Xinxin's beetle parked in the parking space in front of the door. He quickly walked over and opened the door. He saw Lan Xinxin touching up her makeup in front of the mirror. Why did you put on makeup? Xiao Chen was stunned. He was baffled. Didn't you say that you want to check your body? I made myself a little ugly so that the guy wouldn't be interested in me. Lan Xinxin said as she turned her head and looked at Xiao Chen. She asked, am I ugly? Xiao Chen was shocked. What is this Lan Xinxin doing? How is this ugly? It's obviously very beautiful. It's not inferior to a movie star. Before, Lan Xinxin had always been barefaced, and she was already very beautiful. Now with makeup, she was even more charming. Never mind the pursuer, even Xiao Chen was a little tempted. Are you going to a beauty pageant? Xiao Chen patted his forehead and got in the car. Go ahead. I know you can't stay here. Young people don't like to sit in the office. Xia Zhili said with a smile, but you have to be careful when you interact with the Wang family. Don't get hung up on. Then, I can't stand up for you. I know. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. He thought, I have been hung up on. I don't need to be careful. Wang Tietio is living in my own house. Outside the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's office building, Xiaochen saw Lan Xinxin's beetle parked in the parking space in front of the door. He quickly walked over and opened the door. He saw Lan Xinxin touching up her makeup in front of the mirror. Why did you put on makeup? Xiaochen was stunned. He was baffled. Didn't you say that you want to check your body? I made myself a little ugly so that the guy wouldn't be interested in me. Lan Xinxin said as she turned her head and looked at Xiaochen. She asked, "Am I ugly?" Chen was shocked. Xiaochen was shocked. What is wrong with Lan Xinxin? How was this ugly? She was obviously very beautiful, not inferior to a movie star. Before, Lan Xinxin had always been barefaced, but she was already very beautiful. Now that she had makeup, she was even more lovely. Chen. Xiao, Zhili, is, to say. Chen, are you going to a beauty pageant? Xiaochen slapped his forehead and got into the car. No, I also want to make myself look uglier, but I look good when I make myself look better. I can't be cruel to myself. Lan Xinxin was also a little depressed. Forget it. Let's just do it. I think you should wash it off. Don't let that person pester you and beat me up again, Xiaochen said. Hee, that's not possible. Lan Xinxin couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. He's still very gentlemanly. That's not necessarily true. That's because he hasn't seen your boyfriend yet. After seeing me, he's probably almost crazy. Xiaochen shrugged. He had seen too many people like this. It's not that exaggerated. Lan Xinxin couldn't help but laugh after listening. Let's go. He said that he was waiting for me at the entrance of the hospital. After that, Lan Xinxin started the car and went in the direction of the hospital. Lan Xinxin's appointment was at one of the best hospitals in Tianfang Provincial Hospital. The parking lot was already full of cars, but just as Lan Xinxin was looking for a parking space, a sedan drove away. Lan Xinxin quickly parked the car in the parking space. However, what surprised Xiaochen was that when Lan Xinxin just parked the car, the door of another Mercedes-Benz off-road vehicle next to it opened. An elegant gentleman came out of it with roses in his hand and went directly to Lan Xinxin's beetle. Xinxin, I've been waiting for you for a long time. This is for you. The elegant gentleman waited for Lan Xinxin to get out of the car and gave the roses to her. Xiaochen looked at the elegant gentleman and looked at the off-road vehicle parked on the side. He was a little puzzled. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? Why did Lan Xinxin stop next to it? Thinking about it carefully, when he was looking for a parking space, the sedan next to the Mercedes-Benz drove away without warning, and Lan Xinxin just happened to stop. All this seemed to be a coincidence, but thinking about it carefully, could it be that the elegant gentleman deliberately arranged it? He asked someone to reserve a parking space next to him in advance. When Lan Xinxin came, he pretended to give up the parking space coincidentally. I don't like roses the most, said Lan Xinxin. Ugh, didn't you say last time that you don't like lilies and like roses? The elegant gentleman suddenly felt a little embarrassed. I like blue roses, said Lan Xinxin. Oh, you should have said it earlier. After the elegant young man heard this, he threw the rose in his hand into a nearby rubbish bin with a so sound. His accuracy was so high that it made Xiaochen speechless. However, the strength that he revealed in that instant made his heart tremble. This person was a martial cultivator, and his strength was definitely not low. After throwing it away, the elegant gentleman opened the trunk of the Mercedes-Benz and took out a bunch of blue roses from it. He came to Lan Xinxin again. Xinxin, look, this time it has turned blue. This. Lan Xinxin was a little helpless, but she had already said what she wanted to say before. She could only take the blue roses from the elegant gentleman and said, okay, I'll accept it. Wang Pei Feng, there's nothing for you to do here. How can that be? Didn't we agree that I will accompany you for the checkup? The elegant gentleman called Wang Peifeng was not moved at all. Let's go. I have already helped you register in advance. I have acquaintances in the hospital. What are you checking? I'll go and greet them. No need. Lan Xinxin said coldly, if you go and greet them, how can other people see the doctor? I don't like to cut in line. Ugh. Wang Peifeng originally wanted to be attentive, but he blushed instead. Chen, let's go. Ignore him. Lan Xinxin said as she held on to Xiao Chen's arm. Feeling the softness of Lan Xinxin's chest pressing against his arm, Xiao Chen was startled. His heart was like a monkey and his mind was like a galloping horse. Lan Xinxin was very beautiful today. Her fragrant scent wafted over with the breeze, causing Xiao Chen's heart to be moved. Ahem. You are. However, Xiao Chen did not lose his reason and asked. We have to pretend to be intimate. Otherwise, will he believe us? Lan Xinxin lowered her voice. Look, he's watching over there. If we're exposed, then it's useless. Okay. Xiao Chen could only agree. Fortunately, it wasn't his first time pretending to be a boyfriend. However, this kind of situation with a love rival made him feel uneasy. Xiao Chen didn't know how to cooperate. Lan Xinxin didn't say anything about humiliating this person or ignoring him. Also, Xiao Chen didn't know what this person's background was. Looking at his strength, his background shouldn't be weak. If he offended someone because of something unrelated to him, then it wouldn't be fun. Therefore, Xiao Chen could only bite the bullet and listen to Lan Xinxin's orders. The two of them quickly walked into the hospital while Wang Peifeng followed closely behind. When they arrived at the registration counter, they found a queue and stopped. Wang Peifeng seemed a little confused. I already registered, so I'll just use it. Otherwise, it'll be a waste. He also needs to be checked. We'll do a premarital checkup together. Are you registering for 2 people? Lan Xinxin said. After Wang Peifeng heard it, he was suddenly shocked. Xinxin, why are you getting married? When did this happen? Why didn't I know? Whether I want to get married or not, I don't need to ask you, right? Lan Xinxin rolled her eyes. You're not my elder. But I am. Wang Peifeng was a little angry. With this kid? Do you really want to do a premarital checkup? Yeah, it's better to check in advance just in case. Lan Xinxin said. Kid, don't think that I don't know who you are. Aren't you a deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? What qualifications do you have to be with Lan Xinxin? Wang Peifeng suddenly became angry. He pointed at Xiao Chen and shouted. Who are you again? Xiao Chen was a little surprised. This Wang Peifeng even knew what he did, but it was old news. You don't need to know who I am. My identity isn't enough for you to know. Wang Peifeng said proudly, Kid, if you know what's good for you, leave Xinxin. Otherwise, I will make you look good. Oh, I always thought that I was quite good-looking. Xiao Chen was also angry. Isn't this Wang Peifeng's sense of superiority a little too strong? I don't know what his background is, but he said faintly, I am now the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I hope you can speak with respect. Don't find trouble for yourself. Aha! Deputy director? Don't talk nonsense. Can you be the deputy director? Wang Peifeng was stunned, but he smiled and said, even if you are the deputy director, what can you do? Don't think that I'm afraid of you. It's useless. Wang Peifeng's words really made Xiao Chen a little surprised. Even the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau doesn't care about this person's background? Is he someone from the outer martial arts world? But how can someone from the outer martial arts world pursue Lan Xinxin? Oh, if Lan Xinxin doesn't like you, it's useless. Xiao Chen was too lazy to argue with him, so he returned the original words. Humph, what else do you have in addition to this advantage? Wang Peifeng sneered and said, you don't have to be proud. I will use my perseverance and patience to move Lan Xinxin. At that time, you can just wait to cry. Xiao Chen didn't know how to explain to this person. This is simply godly logic. Isn't this advantage enough? And if it was so easy to be moved, then Lan Xinxin wouldn't have asked him to pretend to be her boyfriend. Obviously, Lan Xinxin didn't have a good impression of him at all. He didn't know where her confidence came from. Whatever you say. Xiao Chen said. Chapter 757. Right, it just so happens that I will also register for a check. Maybe Xinxin and I will get married then. Wang Peifeng thought about it and said. Who wants to marry you? Don't you have a brain? Lan Xinxin glared at him. Hee, I will check anyway. Wang Peifeng said shamelessly. Soon, it was Lan Xinxin's turn to register. Because Wang Peifeng had already registered for Lan Xinxin, he registered for 2 more people. Wang Peifeng rushed to pay the money, and Xiao Chen took advantage of him. Humph, you can't even afford the registration fee. Poor. Wang Peifeng snorted. Someone is willing to pay for the registration fee, and he thinks he is great. I can't say anything. Xiao Chen said coldly. He also noticed that this Wang Peifeng didn't seem to have a high IQ. He only knew how to talk. However, holding the registration card, Xiao Chen suddenly remembered something and said to Lan Xinxin, Xinxin, why do I check this thing? Aren't you here to check the body? Why are you checking this too? Isn't it because I want to let him go? Lan Xinxin also looked helpless. But he doesn't leave. After hearing such a private matter, not only did he not leave, but he also wants to check together. I really admire him. I also admire him. Xiao Chen shrugged. Then, let's really go for a check. Otherwise, what should we do? You look at his appearance. He won't give up until he dies. AI. Lan Xinxin sighed. Looking at this, he doesn't want to give up, right? Xiao Chen glanced at Wang Peifeng and whispered, if he keeps pestering you, won't I have to pretend to be him? I didn't expect him to be so persistent. Lan Xinxin spread her hands and looked at Xiao Chen. AI, if you are in trouble, don't help. I don't want to cause any trouble for you. Forget it. Since I have already helped, then I will help to the end. Xiao Chen had no choice but to nod. The 3 of them walked forward together. Wang Peifeng was bouncing on the side as if she was boxing. Xiao Chen was speechless when he saw this. When they arrived at the entrance of the physical examination department, the first one was to draw blood. Because there were still people in front of them, they had to line up here. Hey, why are you squeezing? Go to the side and stay there. If you continue to squeeze, I'll kill you with my hammer. Wang Peifeng saw a young man with shifty eyes squeezing around like a thief, so he threw a punch at him. Bang! The young man's head tumbled. Brat, you're courting death. The thievish-browed youth got up from the ground, pointed at Wang Peifeng and said angrily, I'm lining up here, why did you push me? I'm done for, it hurts so much, my head hurts all over. As he spoke, the young man with shifty eyebrows began to roll on the ground. Doctor, I want a checkup, I want emergency treatment, I can't take it anymore, I was beaten up. Are you sick? Wang Peifeng was not moved at all. He walked over and stepped on the head of the young man with shifty eyebrows. The guy's nose was bleeding, but Wang Peifeng was not satisfied. He also stepped on the ground a few times, causing the skin of the young man with shifty eyebrows to break. Since you can't take it anymore, then I'll help you. You can die now. Xiao Chen looked at Wang Peifeng dumbfounded. Isn't this guy a tiger? Is he here to pick up girls? Can such a bloody guy still capture Lan Xinxin's heart? Don't. Brother, I was wrong. Brother, I don't want to die, I can do it again. Let me go, I'm fine. The young man with shifty eyebrows did not expect that not only did he fail to blackmail Wang Peifeng, but he was also trampled more violently by the other party. Humph, be careful in the future. Get lost. Wang Peifeng withdrew his foot and said with a proud face. Yes, yes. The young man with shifty eyebrows got up and ran away. Xinxin, how is it? Am I a reliable person? After Wang Peifeng finished, he looked at Xiao Chen provocatively. I'm telling you, a man must be brave. Don't think that you are the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It's useless to be a coward. If I show my bravery a few more times, Lan Xinxin will definitely like me. Xiao Chen slapped his forehead. How did I get such a pursuer? It's like my brain is missing a cord. AI, Xiao Chen, then I really have to continue to trouble you in the future. Lan Xinxin also said with a headache. The blood was drawn very quickly. Soon, it was Xiao Chen's turn. Wang Peifeng also drew his blood, and then the three of them went to the next consulting room. Take this small cup, fill it with urine, and test it here. A nurse gave 3 disposable cups to Xiao Chen and others and said. We still need to test urine? Xiao Chen was stunned. Of course, hurry up. The nurse pointed to the bathroom not far away. Be careful when you do it. Don't get it outside. You will get it all over your hands. Xiao Chen couldn't help it. He took the paper cup. Lan Xinxin, what kind of physical examination did you sign up for? Why is there a urine test? You're a man. I asked you to take a cup of urine, and you're doing this and that. Is it so difficult? Even if you ask me to drink urine, I won't blink. Wang Peifeng glanced at Xiao Chen and said disdainfully, Did you see that? This is called courage. This is called courage. How can Lan Xinxin, a girl from a martial arts family, like an ordinary man? I think you got the deputy director position through your relationship, right? If you're brave, then drink it. Xiao Chen didn't know what to say after listening. The other party's IQ was beyond his imagination. TSK. Wang Peifeng snorted. Right, Xinxin, it's not convenient for you girls to take urine. How about I help you take it later? Get lost. Lan Xinxin glared at him. Are you sick? Ugh. Wang Peifeng was stunned. How am I sick? Xiao Chen, do you want to help me? Lan Xinxin turned to look at Xiao Chen. Me? How can I help? Xiao Chen was shocked and almost dropped the cup. Isn't there a gap under the cubicle? Just reach in. Lan Xinxin said. Forget it. That's the women's toilet. If I go in, I'll be kicked out. Xiao Chen shook his head quickly. Look at your cowardice. Xinxin, I dare. Wang Peifeng immediately said, For my beloved woman, never mind going to the women's toilet, I dare to go to the morgue. Wang Peifeng, that's enough. Lan Xinxin frowned. Oh. Wang Peifeng closed his mouth after Lan Xinxin said it. The three of them went to the toilet to collect urine and then sent it back to the testing place. It was the next test, but the men and women weren't together. However, this test was a bit awkward. Lan Xinxin accompanied Xiao Chen to check first. She saw the nurse give Xiao Chen a disposable cup. You still want to do a urine test? But there's no more. I can't pee anymore. Xiao Chen was stunned. What urine test? This is to test the activity and defects of the cyanobes. You go to the opposite row of rooms and see which one is empty. Go in and solve it yourself. The nurse said, "There are posters and videos in the room. Take a look yourself." When Xiaofan heard it, he was stunned. "I think we should forget about this." "How can we forget about it? Premarital examination is the most important step. This determines whether you can have a healthy pregnancy in the future. Hurry up. You're a man, and you still need to be shy." The nurse glared at Xiaofan with disdain. "Yeah, isn't it just masturbation? You are too unmanly. I started masturbating when I was 4 years old." No, I started masturbating mutton skewers." Wang Peifeng opened his mouth and began to brag, but he suddenly found that he was bragging too much, so he quickly changed his words. Lan Xinxin rolled her eyes at him. "This. Do I have to do it myself?" Xiaofan suddenly felt a little embarrassed. "Nonsense. Did you read too much gossip? Do you think that there is a nurse to help?" The nurse said, "Don't daydream. Xiaofan, do you want me to help you?" Lan Xinxin suddenly said. "That's right. Your girlfriend is right next to you. Let her help you. Look over there, it's all couples helping each other. I'll give you another cup. You can give her some secretion too. She's going for a test later." The nurse took out another cup and said, "But don't really do it. It will be hard to test if you mix it together." "What?" Xiaofan looked at the tough nurse in amazement. But thinking about it, the nurses in this department were really not competent if they were not bold. "All right, hurry up. What are you waiting for?" The nurse waved her hand and gestured for Xiaofan to leave. Then, she gave Wang Peifeng a cup and said, "You go too." "No problem." Wang Peifeng promised directly and loudly, "I'm not like some people. I'm very brave." "Lan Xinxin, your suitor seems to be a bit brave." Xiaofan didn't say the next sentence. That was, he thought that Wang Peifeng and Lan Xinxin were really a good match. Both of them were a bit brave. But he naturally couldn't say this. After all, he was here to help, not to matchmake. "It's okay. Just make do." Lan Xinxin shrugged. "What am I going to do?" Xiaofan shook his head. "Yes, I think we should omit this step of the test. We are not really married." "How can that be?" "If we don't come, people will think that we have a problem." Lan Xinxin said, Yes, I remember. It must be that your part isn't good. I broke it, and you were embarrassed to say it, so you refused to check. Am I right? How is it possible?" Xiaofan was choked by Lan Xinxin. "Then let's check it." Lan Xinxin said, "Actually, I'm also quite anxious about you. Let's try it, okay? If it really isn't good, treat it early. Don't drag it out. There's really no need, and I'm fine." Xiaofan refused with a dumbfounded expression. "Come on. For this matter, I deliberately learned the male rejuvenation massage technique from the short movies. It should be effective." Lan Xinxin stretched out her right hand and showed it to the left. "I think my technique should be okay." Okay. I'll do it myself, okay?" Xiaofan was forced by Lan Xinxin. "Then you wait for me here." Chapter 758. Xiaofan took the paper cup and found an empty room to escape. He locked the door and breathed a sigh of relief. The environment here was very cozy. The layout was the same as an otaku's bedroom. There were a few sexy female star pictorials on it. There was also a player, probably something like a short movie. However, Xiaofan wasn't in the mood at all. After thinking for a long time, he still didn't feel anything. He could only open the player and look at it, but he lost interest after a few glances. The women in it were really not good looking. They were far worse than Shen Jingxian and Tang Tang. He turned off the player helplessly. Xiaofan not only wasn't interested, but he felt a little disgusted and bored. After all, the girls around him were much better than him in terms of appearance and temperament. Looking at these things, Xiaofan's eyes were also a lot more arrogant. He had no interest at all. He walked out of the room with the small paper cup. Lan Xinxin ran over with anticipation, but when she saw the paper cup in Xiaofan's hand, she was very disappointed and worried. "Xiaofan, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you get it out?" "Ugh, that. I don't think it's necessary to do this examination. It didn't come out." Xiaofan smiled bitterly. "Ah. Why don't I help you?" Lan Xinxin's eyes were filled with deep worry. "You have to believe in my skills. Although I'm self-taught, I think I should be able to do it." "No need. I'm not in the mood today." Xiaofan quickly refused. "Isn't this a joke? If I let Lan Xinxin help me, then Wang Tietio won't let me off the hook." Lan Xinxin's eyes flashed a hint of suspicion, and then she seemed to understand something. "Xiaofan, you tell me. Is it still not good? If you're not good, you're in the hospital. Let's go and have a look, I really don't need to see." Xiaofan smiled bitterly. "I'm fine. AI." Lan Xinxin sighed. She seemed to have a heavy heart, but she didn't continue to persuade Xiaofan. When the two of them returned to the examination room, Wang Peifeng had already handed in the results. He was looking around at the side. When he saw Xiaofan and Lan Xinxin, he said, "Xiaofan, let me see if you've done it. F***ck, your amount isn't good either. It's too little. The bottom of the cup isn't even full. I've filled half a cup." Xiaofan ignored him and said to the nurse, "I'm sorry, I'm not in the right state today. Let's forget about the examination." "No condition?" The nurse looked at Xiaofan and felt a little strange. Lan Xinxin quickly ran over and whispered a few words in the nurse's ear. The nurse suddenly understood. She looked at Xiaofan and said sympathetically, "Young man, you look strong. Do you have any problems in that area? Then you have to hurry up and get treated. You don't have to register again. I'll give you the results of the examination. You can go to the doctor." This. Xiaofan was stunned. He thought that Lan Xinxin might have said something to the nurse. It was a headache and an embarrassment. What problem do I have? Everything is Lan Xinxin's misunderstanding. At this moment, Xiaofan seemed to understand something. Lan Xinxin tried so hard to find him to accompany her for the examination. It was probably not because she wanted to be examined, but because she wanted to examine him. After the plane, Lan Xinxin had been worried and guilty. When he told her, she didn't believe him. It was really a headache. "Ah, so it's not possible?" When Wang Peifeng heard it, he looked at Lan Xinxin with ridicule. "Xinxin, if you want to find a normal person, I won't say anything. If you find an incompetent person, then your future life will be difficult. It's none of your business." Lan Xinxin glared at him and held Xiaofan's arm. "Even if you can't do it, I'll be good to you. I'll take care of you for a lifetime." Lan Xinxin's voice was very loud. A few couples who were doing the body examination behind also heard it. They suddenly showed a look of admiration. Especially a short man. After hearing this, he said to his girlfriend beside him, "Look at me. Sometimes, I'm just a little short, and you won't do it. I won't complain in the future." His girlfriend nodded with hidden bitterness. Xiaofan had a twitch in his heart. Am I being used as a teaching material? But I really don't have a problem. Thinking of this, Xiaofan gritted his teeth and said, "Let's go and take a look." "Okay, then let's go." When Lan Xinxin heard Xiaofan agree, she was very happy. The two of them walked to the doctor's room not far away. Because it was an andrology examination, Lan Xinxin couldn't go in. She could only wait at the door. Wang Peifeng also followed. When he saw Xiaochen go in, he gloated. Xin, do you really want to find an incompetent person? Get lost. It's none of your business. Lan Xin glared at him. Am I not being kind? I'm afraid that you will become a widow in the future. Wang Peifeng muttered. Xiaochen went in for a round of inspection. After he came out, he gave the inspection report to Lan Xin and said, "It's fine. Are you satisfied now?" "It's really fine." Lan Xin looked at the inspection report and didn't believe it. Could it be that what's written here is fake? Xiaochen said as he pointed at the various seals on the inspection report. But, yes, you must have bribed the doctor here to stamp it for you. Otherwise, how can you finish the inspection so quickly? No, I still don't believe it unless you take off your pants for me to see, then I will believe it. Lan Xin thought of this possibility and felt that Xiaochen was lying. He must be embarrassed to admit that there was a problem, but because of the special identity of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, the doctor cooperated with him. I'm going to faint. Xiaochen really didn't expect that after the inspection was completed, Lan Xin still didn't believe it. How can I do that? Then why didn't you check it before? Why didn't you let me see it? There must be a problem. Lan Xin said firmly. Okay, let's not talk about this. Let's check other things. Xiaochen didn't want to continue this topic. It hurt him too much. As for the others, forget it. Lan Xin was a little dispirited, and she looked like she had a lot on her mind. Xiaochen looked at her and knew that she was still worried about his problem, but Xiaochen couldn't explain it. He couldn't really take off his pants and let her try it, right? He had checked everything that needed to be checked, but she still didn't believe it. In fact, Lan Xin already thought that Xiaochen was crippled by her. Even if it was a check, it was a lie. No matter what the result was, she wouldn't believe it. Okay, but the one following behind. Xiaochen pointed to Wang Peifeng. Let him follow. Let's go eat. Lan Xin said. Okay. Xiaochen had previously thought that Wang Peifeng and Lan Xin were quite compatible, but looking at Wang Peifeng's style now, if he and Lan Xin were to be together, the two of them would be finished. Two tiger men together, there was probably no hope. After leaving the hospital, Wang Peifeng also followed behind. They got in the car together. Lan Xin drove in front, and Wang Peifeng followed behind. They arrived at the entrance of a restaurant one after another. The restaurant wasn't big, but it was very popular. The parking spaces at the entrance were basically occupied. Because Wang Peifeng drove an off-road vehicle, it was easy to park on the sidewalk. But Lan Xin's beetle couldn't get up. Xin, let me help you. Wang Peifeng quickly ran over and hugged Lan Xin's beetle. He directly moved it to the sidewalk and put it side by side with his Mercedes-Benz. Xiaochen was dumbfounded. No wonder Lan Xin didn't want to be with him. This character, he was even more reckless than Lan Xin. If she went out with him, it would be really shocking. After settling all this, Wang Peifeng proudly showed off his muscles and then walked into the restaurant under the shocked gaze of a group of people. The restaurant security was also shocked. It was the first time they saw someone parking like this. How was this parking? It was simply taking a car. Xin, I really admire him now. No wonder you don't want to be with him. Xiaochen sighed. Yeah, that's why I called you here. But looking at him, it seems like he won't give up. It's up to you in the future. Lan Xin pulled Xiaochen. They entered the restaurant, but there were no seats. They needed to wait. The waiter gave Lan Xin a cue card, and the three of them were ready to wait in the rest area. Xin, why are you here? At this time, a man came out from a private room not far away. He seemed to be going to the bathroom. He saw Lan Xinxin at a glance and immediately rushed over. Xinxin, why didn't you tell me that you came here to eat? I'll treat you. Yan Jichuan, it's none of your business here. Lan Xinxin saw Yan Jichuan and seemed to be shocked. She quickly said, my family is eating here. Don't disturb us. Family? Yan Jichuan glanced at Xiao Chen and frowned. But when he saw Wang Peifeng behind him, he immediately became a lot more enthusiastic. Big brother, you are here too. That's great. You and Xinxin should eat together. I've booked a private room. There are no outsiders. We are all familiar with each other. Who is your big brother? I don't know you. Wang Peifeng saw Yan Jichuan and immediately became vigilant. You are Xinxin's cousin. Isn't that my big brother? Our Yan family has already proposed marriage with your Wang family. We have already put this matter on the agenda. Yan Jichuan said, Xinxin, my grandpa plans to personally go to your family to be a matchmaker. I believe Grandpa Wang will definitely agree. You, don't talk nonsense. What cousin, big brother? Cousin. Wang Peifeng was a little anxious. My surname is Wang, not Tang. If you talk nonsense again, I will beat you up. No, I mean, you are Xinxin's cousin's cousin, not Tang. Yan Jichuan didn't know what was going on, so he quickly explained. Xiao Chen looked at Wang Peifeng and then looked at Lan Xinxin. He suddenly understood everything. This Wang Peifeng is actually Lan Xinxin's cousin. Isn't that one of the third generation of the Wang family who went to the outer Wulin Wang family to cultivate? No wonder his surname is Wang. No wonder he is so powerful. It turns out to be Wang Tietio's genes. So, this guy was called by Lan Xinxin to act. Chapter 759. Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't expect Lan Xinxin to have such a clever plan. It was obvious that she was colluding with Wang Peifeng to trick him to come for a physical examination. Now that he thought about it, no wonder he felt that the conversation between Wang Peifeng and Lan Xinxin was a little strange. They were siblings. Xinxin, what's going on? Xiao Chen really didn't know whether to be angry or something else. I'll explain when I have time. Lan Xinxin looked at Yan Jichuan angrily. It's all your fault. What nonsense are you talking about? My boyfriend must have misunderstood. What? Xinxin, this is your boyfriend? Yan Jichuan's gaze towards Xiao Chen suddenly became unfriendly. Originally, Lan Xinxin said that they were family, and he also saw Wang Peifeng, so he subconsciously thought that Xiao Chen was also Lan Xinxin's relative. This is a real pursuer. Lan Xinxin whispered in Xiao Chen's ear to remind him. I don't believe it now. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. In fact, he could see that Yan Jichuan was a real pursuer, but he said it on purpose. Really? It was originally quite good. You didn't even realize it, but it was ruined by Yan Jichuan. Lan Xinxin was suddenly unhappy, and she hated Yan Jichuan to death. Kid, where are you from? Do you know that I'm from Tianfang Zhenwu's Yan family? Yan Jichuan pointed at Xiao Chen and said, if you know what's good for you, leave Lan Xinxin immediately. She's not suitable for you. Yan Jichuan's tone was arrogant, as if he was facing an ant. In fact, in his eyes, Xiao Chen was indeed an ant-like figure. In Tianfang province, he was basically someone who could do whatever he wanted. The first family in Tianfang was the Wang family, and the second was the Yan family. In terms of overall strength, the Yan family was higher than the Wang family. It was only because the Wang family had direct support in the outer martial arts world, and with the backing of the Wang family, they became the first family in Tianfang province. However, the Yan family didn't, so they could only settle for second place. It had been like this all these years. Even if the Yen family wanted to surpass them, it was impossible, so they just accepted it. Under such circumstances, Yan Jichuan didn't care about anyone other than the Wang family. When he heard that Xiao Chen wasn't a relative of the Wang family, he immediately became arrogant. "Oh, it's not very suitable, but I can make do for now." Xiao Chen glanced at Yan Jichuan, patted him on the shoulder and said, "Thank you for your reminder." "What?" Yan Jichuan was stunned. He thought that after hearing this, Xiao Chen would either leave with his tail between his legs, or fly into a rage and show his background. But even if he flew into a rage, Yan Jichuan wasn't afraid, because he had never been afraid of any of these families in Tianfang province. He just wanted to wait for the other party to show his background, and then suppress him in all aspects, so that Xiao Chen would retreat in the face of difficulties, so that he would never dare to have any ideas about Lan Xinxin again. However, he didn't expect that the other party would accept it humbly and even thank him. All of a sudden, he didn't know what to say. He was stunned for a long time before he said, "You're welcome. What do you think? Are we going to leave or not? I have to think about it. How can I make a decision in an instant for such a big matter? Ordinary people have to study for a few days to buy a home appliance." Xiao Chen shook his head and said, "Oh, okay then. Think about it." Yan Jichuan was a little helpless. He really had no way to deal with such a person. "If that's the case, let's eat something together. I have booked a private room, and I can introduce a few friends to you. The more friends, the more options. My friends are very powerful in Tianfang province. They are all the young masters of major families. Today, we are gathering here. If you give up on Lan Xinxin, then we will be friends. If you have any problems in the future, just say the word. We can basically help you solve it." "Oh, but I don't have anything to trouble you." Xiao Chen nodded. "Since you are treating, let's go eat." Yan Jichuan was speechless. Listening to Xiao Chen's tone, it seems that he is eating with me or giving me face. However, since Xiao Chen's attitude was good, he couldn't say anything more. He could only bring Xiao Chen and the others into the private room. There were 2 other people in the private room. When they saw Lan Xinxin, Wang Peifeng, and Xiao Chen coming in, they greeted them one after another. However, they didn't know Xiao Chen. But to be able to mingle with these people, their identity must be extraordinary. Cough, cough. Seeing his 2 buddies nodding and greeting Xiao Chen, Yan Jichuan quickly curled his lips and lowered his voice. "Love rival. Oh, oh." The 2 of them suddenly realized. One of them, Liang Bufan, was a hot-tempered person. When he heard that Xiao Chen was Yan Jichuan's love rival, he immediately exploded. He slammed the table and said, "Kid, where did you come from? You actually dare to fight with Brother Yan for a woman? Don't you know who has the final say in Tianfang's territory? Tianfang? Isn't that the headquarters of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Isn't it the Supernatural Investigation Bureau that has the final say?" Xiao Chen looked at Liang Bufan in confusion. "Huh?" Liang Bufan was stunned. F***CK, I'm talking about the aristocratic families. "Oh, aristocratic families. Isn't that the Wang family?" Xiao Chen said without hesitation, "Isn't the Wang family the #1 martial arts aristocratic family in Tianfang?" Liang Bufan was instantly shaken by Xiao Chen's words, but he couldn't refute it. He couldn't explode even if he wanted to. After a while, he said weakly, "What I mean is, other than the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and the Wang family, who else has the final say?" He didn't dare to say that the Supernatural Investigation Bureau didn't have the final say, let alone the Wang family. The people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau weren't here, so it didn't matter if they talked big behind their backs. But Lan Xinxin and Wang Peifeng were here. If he said that the Wang family was inferior to the Yan family, wouldn't he be courting death? That I really don't know. May I know which family it is? Xiaochen looked like he was all ears. Bufan, don't talk to him anymore, this person. Sigh. Yan Jichuan had suffered in this aspect before. If this Xiaochen were to be humble, then he was quite humble, but he could choke someone to death with just one sentence, and yet he did not have any temper. Alright, kid, I won't talk nonsense with you anymore. The one who spoke was another of Yan Jichuan's underlings. His name was Xiao Wuyo. He directly said to Xiaochen, the Yan family that brother Yan belongs to is the number 2 martial arts aristocratic family in Tianfang province. They are a match for sister-in-law Lan Xinxin, huh? You seem to be older than me. Why do you call me big brother? Xiaochen looked at Xiao Wuyo strangely. Who called you big brother? Xiao Wuyo was stunned. If you call Lan Xinxin sister-in-law, then I'm her boyfriend. Doesn't that mean I'm your big brother? Xiaochen said matter-of-factly. I. Xiao Wuyo didn't continue with the word I. He had no other choice. Ahem. Yan Jichuan saw his 2 underlings being defeated. He quickly coughed twice and changed the topic. Let's not talk about this. Xiaochen, think about it. Break up with Lan Xinxin, and then I will help you find a good job. Our Yan family has a lot of family businesses. You don't have to go to work, and you can still get money every month. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for your kindness. I have a job now, and I'm quite busy. I can't do a part-time job. Xiaochen said with some regret. You don't have to go to work. You can just do a part-time job. Yan Jichuan said. Oh, but our unit's management is quite strict. We are not allowed to do part-time jobs outside, especially as consultants for some enterprises. This is not possible. So, thank you for your kindness. Xiaochen said helplessly. Yan Jichuan slapped his forehead. He found that it was very difficult to communicate with Xiaochen. Xiaochen's words seemed normal, but it made him crazy. Then forget it. Thank you anyway, said Xiaochen. You're welcome. Yan Jichuan sighed. Okay, let's eat. Can I order some more food? Asked Xiaochen. Yes. Yan Jichuan said weakly. He really wanted to beat Xiaochen up, but he couldn't grab hold of Xiaochen's weakness. He was the young master of the Yan family. He was usually quite concerned about his face. He couldn't bully an ordinary person for no reason. He asked Xiao Wuyo to find the waiter. Xiaochen ordered a few more dishes. They were all expensive dishes. Yan Jichuan looked at it with disdain. If you come to work in my company, your monthly salary is enough to eat several meals. Oh, I had a blood test in the morning. I'm a little dizzy. Xiaochen said, I have to eat more good food to supplement myself. Then, add a bullwhip. Lan Xinxin said as she looked at the menu. But after she finished speaking, she noticed that everyone was looking at her strangely. She suddenly knew that what she said was a little silly. She quickly shrunk her head. Oh, then add one more. Xiaochen readily agreed. He didn't look embarrassed at all. Yan Jichuan was completely defeated by him. He was really drunk to meet such a rival in love. He didn't understand the sarcasm at all, or he was obviously being sarcastic, but he was listening to it. Yan Jichuan could only let Xiaochen think about it himself. Yan Jichuan was too lazy to talk anymore. Give me one too. Today, I masturbated in the hospital. I also need to supplement myself. Wang Peifeng also said, Xinxin, why do you keep thinking about Xiaochen? Why don't you let your brother supplement himself? It's really tiring for your brother to act for you. Oh my God, it's the first time I've done this in my life. You're still talking about it? You failed, and you're still asking for credit. Lan Xinxin snorted. Don't worry about that. Isn't Yan Jichuan taking over my work? It's the same. Wang Peifeng said casually, I'll have 2 more lamb eggs. Do you have any? After a while, the additional dishes were served in order. So, they saw Xiao Chen and Wang Peifeng eating heartily, while Yan Jichuan, Liang Bufan, and Xiao Wuyo stared at each other. Brother Yan, what's the situation? Should we teach him a lesson? Xiao Wuyo really couldn't help it. Let's watch him eat as if we are accompanying him. Forget it. It's not interesting to bully a small character like him. Yan Jichuan waved his hand with flagging interest and said, this matter is actually easy to solve. Looking at his appearance, he should have no background, and his family conditions are not good. The Wang family will never allow such a person to be with Lan Xinxin. When my grandfather proposes marriage, the Wang family will definitely help us drive this guy away. We don't have to be the bad guys. Chapter 760. That's right. Brother Yan is smart. If it were me, I would have exploded by now. Liang Bufan nodded in agreement. Then we'll let him have it easy today. Xiao Wuyo was unwilling. What else can we do? Yan Jichuan shook his head. Don't cause trouble. Wang Peifeng is here today. Isn't fighting in front of him courting death? As the 3 of them were whispering to each other, there was an urgent knock on the door of the private room. Yan Jichuan, who was halfway through his sentence, immediately frowned. Who is it? What do you want? Liang Bufan asked. The door was pushed open. The driver and underling that Yan Jichuan brought came in. He was a disciple of the Yan family called Yan Laosan. Young Master Yan, Ni Gangyin and the others arrived early. They parked their car in front of your car and shouted that young Master Yan is a coward who doesn't dare to come out. Yan Laosan said hurriedly. What? Ni Gangyin is here now? Didn't we agree to have a showdown in the afternoon? Yan Jichuan was stunned and frowned immediately. This. I don't know what's going on. Yan Laosan also looked troubled. Who knew that they would come so early and find this place? Damn, someone must have tipped them off. I can't even eat my lunch in peace. Yan Jichuan snorted and said, then let's go out and see what he wants. However, as soon as he finished speaking, the door of the private room was pushed open with a bang. 3 men who looked like young masters swaggered in. When they saw Yan Jichuan, they said directly, isn't this young Master Yan? You're quite cool. You're going to be beaten up in the afternoon, but you're still in the mood for a big meal. What's this? Bullwhip? Sheep eggs? Are you trying to eat a big meal? Yan Jichuan's face immediately turned green. He was not the one who ordered this at all. In the end, he was treated as a laughing stock. He glared at Xiao Chen hatefully, only to discover that this guy was still eating happily. He was not affected by the scene in front of him at all. Yelling? He's eating happily? Yan Jichuan, this subordinate of yours is quite a weirdo. He has a big heart. The one who spoke was naturally Ni Gangyin. He looked at Xiao Chen with disdain and ridiculed. Don't talk so much. How are we going to compete? Yan Jichuan didn't want to study more about Xiao Chen. Although he was angry, he couldn't teach Xiao Chen a lesson in front of Ni Gangyin. In any case, Ni Gangyin had already regarded Xiao Chen as one of Yan Jichuan's people. If he were to teach him a lesson, it would weaken their momentum. Let's have a one-on-one battle. The loser will give up his spot as a disciple of the Origin Sky sect. Ni Gangyin said, otherwise, when the time comes, our elders will have to work behind the scenes and compete for resources, letting others take advantage of us for nothing. Yes. Yan Jichuan stood up and nodded, now. That's right. Do you dare? If you're not full, you can eat a little longer. Ni Gangyin said. No need, let's go. Yan Jichuan snorted, but what if the loser goes back on his word? In order to avoid this situation, I specially invited an expert to be the referee. You will know when the time comes. Ni Gangyin said. Alright, then let's go to the nearby Xingda Stadium. I have booked the whole place. Yan Jichuan said and walked out of the box. Xiao Wuyo and Liang Bufan quickly followed, but Xiao Chen and the others were still eating here. Seeing that they were about to leave, Xiao Chen quickly said, "Hey, don't forget to pay the bill." Wuyo, go pay the bill. The corner of Yan Jichuan's mouth twitched, and he waved to Xiao Wuyo. Yes. Although Xiao Wuyo was reluctant, he couldn't ignore Yan Jichuan's words. He turned around and ran to pay the bill. Ni Gangyin saw this scene and said sarcastically, "Young Master Yan, your way of managing your subordinates is really amazing. Do you still have to pay for your subordinates' meals? Why do you talk so much nonsense? Are you a sore loser and trying to find a sense of existence here?" Yan Jichuan said coldly with a frosty face. "We will know who is a sore loser later." Ni Gangyin stopped talking and left the restaurant together. They got into the car and drove away. At this time, there were only 3 people left in the box: Xiao Chen, Wang Peifeng, and Lan Xinxin. Xiao Chen said curiously, "What are they doing? A private duel?" The leader of the other party is Ni Gangyin, a member of the Ni family in Tianfang. The Ni family is ranked 3rd. Although it is not as good as the Yan family, the gap is not big. The two families have always been at odds. Wang Peifeng gnawed on a bullwhip and explained casually, "They don't dare to behave atrociously in front of the Wang family, so these two families are at odds." This time, the Yuan-Tian sect is recruiting disciples. There is a quota for the Tianfang province, and both families want to fight for it. You know, if a family has a disciple who joins the outer martial arts world, their status will be completely different. If the Yan family succeeds, although they can't surpass the Wang family, at least they can keep the 2nd place. But if the Ni family succeeds, they will replace the Yan family, so both families are very anxious. So that's the situation. Then the two of them can privately decide the quota? Xiao Chen was a little surprised. Under normal circumstances, the two families will definitely try their best to find a way to send gifts to the Yuan-Tian sect, some cultivation resources and money. When the time comes, the one who gives more will be the winner. But in this way, the Yuan-Tian sect will benefit from it. The two families are not fools, so the elders tacitly agreed to this private duel to decide the quota. Wang Peifeng continued, "When the time comes, the loser will directly give up, and only one person will sign up. Naturally, that person will join the Yuan-Tian sect." I didn't expect these two families to be so smart. Xiao Chen understood after hearing this. He thought that these two young masters were fighting because they couldn't accept each other, but it turned out that there was such a deep influence behind it. Of course they are not stupid, but this matter has nothing to do with us. We are just watching the fun. Let's continue eating. Wang Peifeng said and continued eating. Xiao Chen looked at Wang Peifeng. After all, this guy was a disciple of a big family. Although he usually looked like a tiger, he actually understood everything. Tiger was just a tiger, but his brain was not stupid. Now it seemed that the temptation of the outer martial arts sects to the Zhenwu families was not small. If they could form a relationship with the outer martial arts sects, the family's status would instantly rise. No wonder the Shen family and the Wang family were on completely different levels. After eating, Xiao Chen also planned to go back. "Wang siblings, stop acting. I'm going back now. As for the results of the examination, it's true. Xian, you don't need to worry and doubt anymore. Isn't there still Yan Jichuan?" Lan Xinxin blurted out. He was chosen by the outer martial arts sects, so he went to the Yuan-Tian sect. He won't have time to harass you. Xiao Chen shrugged. What if he is not chosen? Lan Xinxin was a little worried. you saw it, he is more annoying than my brother, hey? How am I annoying? Didn't you tell me to act like this? I even deliberately practiced it for a long time. Wang Peifeng immediately listened after listening to it. You don't know what's good for you. I mean, he is more annoying than my brother's acting. Lan Xinxin stuck out her tongue. Today I actually wanted to take you for a physical examination, so I asked my brother to lie, but Yan Jichuan is real. Well, then let's go see in a while and see if that guy won or lost. If he lost, then we will think of other ways. Xiaofan thought for a while and said. To be honest, he was a soft-hearted person. Since Lan Xinxin's matter was involved, it was not good to give up halfway. After all, they knew each other and had some ambiguous feelings. I think it's fine. I just want to watch the fun. Wang Peifeng agreed. So the three of them left the restaurant and drove directly to Xingda Stadium. The stadium was closed today, and there were only 2 people guarding the door. Xiaofan glanced at them. It was Yan Jichuan's underling, Liang Bufan, and the other was Ni Gongyin's underling. Seeing Xiaofan and the other 2 coming over, Liang Bufan was stunned. Why are you here? I came to cheer for Yan Jichuan. Lan Xinxin said. Ah, then come in quickly. Liang Bufan was overjoyed when he heard it. With Lan Xinxin cheering for Yan Jichuan, wouldn't our chances of winning be much higher? Ni Gongyin's underling glanced at them and didn't say much. After all, this wasn't a group fight. It didn't matter how many people there were. If they were willing to cheer, then go. The 3 of them entered the stadium. Just as they walked to the arena of the small stadium, they heard a fierce quarrel inside. Ni Gongyin, you are shameless. I obviously won, but you suddenly counterattacked and caught me off guard. How can this be considered as your victory? Yan Jichuan shouted angrily. This isn't what I said, it's what the referee said. Ni Gongyin's voice was very proud. At that time, although you beat me to the ground, the referee didn't make a judgment, and there was no countdown, so I could counterattack. Now that I have turned defeat into victory, the referee has started the countdown, so it is my victory. Xiaofan was stunned when he heard this at the door. What's going on? It sounds like Yan Jichuan has already won, but Ni Gongyin colluded with the referee to play some tricks. This won't do. If Yan Jichuan can't enter the Yuantian sect, then won't I have to pretend to be Lan Xinxin's boyfriend in the future? Thinking of this, Xiaofan couldn't let it go, and directly rushed in with big strides. Ni Gongyin, this is the referee you invited, so naturally, he is biased towards you. Today's matter, no matter how you look at it, no matter what, I still win. Yan Jichuan was so angry that he pointed at Ni Gongyin and trembled. However, Ni Gongyin was calm in the midst of chaos, and he didn't have the consciousness of being shameless at all. He said indifferently, What? You dare to question the decision of the experts of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Well, if you say it is biased, then go find a place to reason. You lost, and you still don't admit it. I think you want to go against the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. That's right, this is the decision of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Who dares to question it? Could it be that your Yan family doesn't want to stay in the Tianfang province? A cold voice sounded, but it sounded a little familiar to Xiaofan. Chapter 761. Yan Jichuan looked at the expert from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau who was invited by Ni Gongyin. He was so angry that he trembled and couldn't speak. If it was an ordinary employee, he wouldn't have swallowed his anger and would have made a fuss. However, he didn't dare to do so because of the other party's identity. The consequences of offending the Supernatural Investigation Bureau were quite serious. He heard that the Gao family was uprooted because they offended the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He could only endure such a disaster for the Yan family. However, he wasn't satisfied. Once he admitted defeat, he would definitely withdraw. After all, it would be more serious if he broke the promise in front of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Can't I question it? Since when does the Supernatural Investigation Bureau have the final say? Just when Yan Jichuan was hesitating, he suddenly heard another voice. He turned around in confusion and couldn't help but be stunned. It was Lan Xinxin, her boyfriend, and Wang Peifeng walking in. However, Yan Jichuan's expression changed after hearing their words. Are these three people here to harm me? Ni Gangyi now thought that they were all on his side. If they questioned the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, wouldn't it be the same as him questioning them? Wouldn't that make the Yen family and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau enemies? King. The expert referee from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was halfway through his sentence when he turned around and saw Xiaofan. He immediately made a "ga" sound and swallowed the words in his throat. Yang. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. Why are you here? Pangfengde, you're pretty awesome, aren't you? You went to the Qi family to show off, and then you came here to show off. One day isn't enough for you, right? Xiaofan looked at Pangfengde with a faint smile. You're here to be a referee? Can you represent the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Besides, the Zhenwu family's matter should be Team B's matter, right? You're the leader of the new B group. Why are you showing off here? Pangfengde's face suddenly turned pale and cold sweat flowed down. He knew about Wang Chake's incident. He had to betray Song Billion to save his life. However, he couldn't betray others. Pangfengde could only admit his mistake with a bitter face. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, I thought that since the Ni family invited me, I came to be a witness. Isn't the Supernatural Investigation Bureau serving these martial artists? Oh, then how did you decide? Tell me about it. Xiaofan asked. It's like this. Ni Gangyin broke the rules. Yan Jichuan had clearly won, but he suddenly counterattacked after losing. This is a heinous crime. I suggest we investigate the Ni family. There's something wrong with their characters. Pangfengde said loudly. He had no choice but to give in. Even an idiot knew that Xia Zhili and Yang Jiannan had the final say in the Supernatural Investigation Department. Even Ling Tian had to respect their opinions sometimes. Ni Gangyin lowered his head. Although he was unwilling, he didn't expect Yan Jichuan to be so awesome. The person he had eaten with and was mocked by him was actually the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. My plan was in vain. Not only that, but I was also hated by Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. The loss outweighed the gain. However, he did not dare to refute. He was not stupid. Since Pangfengde had already admitted defeat, wouldn't he be courting death if he jumped out again? After thinking for a while, a man should know when to yield and when to stand tall. He could only force a smile and said, Young Master Yan, I lost. I gave up the qualification to be a disciple of the Yuan-Tian sect. I really didn't expect that the Yen family's face was so big that you could even invite the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. As expected of the second largest family in Tianfang. This. Yan Jichuan was actually a little dumbfounded. Why was Lan Xinxin's boyfriend the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Previously, he was still acting in front of him, telling him that he had something to ask of him in Tianfang province. However, with his identity, he didn't need him at all. No wonder he said that he couldn't have a part-time job. It was because of his identity. Thinking of what he said before, Yan Jichuan was a little embarrassed. He put on airs in front of him, but in the end, he still came to help him. Now, he felt that Xiaofan was really a good person. He was very down-to-earth. It must be because of his enthusiasm before, which made Xiaofan feel that he was a good person. That's why he came to help him. Thinking of this, Yan Jichuan blushed a little. He looked at Xiao Chen and said, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, that. Thank you for upholding justice for me. Oh, didn't you treat me to a meal? Besides, I just happened to pass by. Xiao Chen waved his hand indifferently. Right, if you go to Yuan Tian sect, can you still be with Lan Xinxin? Aha, I was just joking before. I and Lan Xinxin aren't a good match at all. I don't deserve her. Yan Jichuan said quickly. Oh, then I don't have to consider it. Xiao Chen nodded and turned to Pang Fengde. What are you still doing here? Waiting to eat sh*t? No, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, then I'm leaving. Pang Fengde lowered his head, ran out of the stadium in a panic, and disappeared. Xiao Chen looked at his back and frowned slightly. The management of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau seemed to be very messy. He didn't know what the mysterious bureau chief was doing. Why didn't he appear even once? Xiao Chen had joined for so long, but he didn't even see his shadow. It would be strange if the management was good. Now, the deputy bureau chiefs were doing their own things. Ling Tian could barely suppress everyone, but his control wasn't too strong. They were all discussing. In such a situation, it would create a group of parasites who would seek personal gain. However, these things didn't have much to do with Xiao Chen. He felt that he had a clear conscience towards the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Even if he killed Yang Jiannan, in Xiao Chen's eyes, there was a reason for it. Moreover, the contributions he made afterward were enough to make up for it. However, if the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wanted to be on the right track and wanted to intimidate the martial arts world, then they needed a strong leader to guide them. Now, many people only cared about their own gains and losses, which wasn't good. However, these things couldn't be changed by Xiao Chen. Although he was the deputy bureau chief, he couldn't order people like Song Bilian. Ni Gangyin, right? Don't use these crooked ways in the future. In fact, you might not lose in a fair duel. I think your strength is only about the same as Yan Jichuan's. With Pang Fengde as your trump card, you won't do your best. Xiao Chen looked at him and said, I'll let this matter go. It's also our internal problem. I will talk to Team B, and we won't vent our anger on the Ni family because of this matter, but after this, it depends on your performance. I understand. Thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Yang. Ni Gangyin said very gratefully. Pang Fengde was so scared, which was enough to show that this Deputy Bureau Chief Yang had real power. It was easy for him to touch the Ni family. He was thinking about how to ask for forgiveness, but he didn't expect the other party to brush it off so easily. You can go. Xiao Chen waved his hand. Yes. Ni Gangyin quickly left with his men. At this moment, only Xiao Chen, Yan Jichuan, and the others were left in the large gymnasium. That. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, I. Yan Jichuan was a little scared when he saw that Xiao Chen didn't let him go. Xian doesn't like you. What do you think? Xiao Chen looked at Yan Jichuan and asked. This, a fair and graceful lady is a gentleman's desire. But since Xian doesn't like me, then forget it. I will definitely not disturb her in the future. Yan Jichuan quickly said. Go back and get ready. Go to that Yuan Tian sect. Xiao Chen nodded, indicating that he could leave. Yan Jichuan hurriedly said goodbye. Wang Peifeng looked at Xiao Chen with some admiration. I didn't know you were so manly. I thought you were a weak chicken before. I didn't expect. Xiao Chen smiled and said, now that the trouble is solved, Xian, can I go? Oh. Yes. Lan Xinxin was a little unhappy. She didn't expect the problem to be solved so easily. But her problem was not solved yet. She was not sure whether Xiao Chen was crippled by her. But looking at Xiao Chen's look as if he didn't need her to take responsibility, Lan Xinxin was also very confused. Was Xiao Chen really okay? Or was he embarrassed to say it? With a belly full of worries, Lan Xinxin and Xiao Chen left the gymnasium together. Where are you going? Lan Xinxin asked. I'm going to leave Tianfang. I'm going to investigate some things in the outer martial arts world. Xiao Chen said. Then when can you come back again? When Lan Xinxin heard that Xiao Chen was going to leave, her face was immediately full of disappointment. Not necessarily. Let's see if things go smoothly. Xiao Chen said, but it doesn't matter. If you have anything, you can call me at any time. If I have time, I will definitely come back. Oh, okay then. Lan Xinxin nodded faintly and got on the beetle. Shall I send you? No, I also have to prepare. Xiao Chen refused Lan Xinxin's kindness because he didn't know where to go now. It was easy to say to go to the outer martial arts world, but it was not easy to do. First of all, the outer martial arts world was a level, not a place. The sects of the outer martial arts world were distributed in many areas. Xiao Chen didn't just say that he would go to a place. At present, his first task was to find out where the Devil Gate Grand Conference was held. However, even the most basic information was not available in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He had to rely on Xiao Chen to find out himself. Xiao Chen thought of Yi Xiaoya. He was going to go back to Songning and discuss something with Yi Xiaoya. If possible, it would be much easier with Yi Xiaoya taking him there. Besides, didn't Yi Xiaoya also participate in the Saintess election? Okay. Lan Xinxin didn't force it anymore. She didn't know why she wanted to make it up to Xiao Chen at the beginning, but now she was a little reluctant to leave Xiao Chen. She felt that she was suddenly missing something when she said goodbye to Xiao Chen. Looking at the back of Xiao Chen, Wang Peifeng said, Xinxin, people say that it's easy for a woman to pursue a man. It doesn't seem to be the case. Is your method wrong? Chapter 762. Then what good idea do you have? Lan Xinxin asked impatiently, what else can you do besides making sarcastic remarks? I'm not a woman. How would I know? Wang Peifeng scratched his head. Didn't you ask Exploding Heavens? Don't mention it. He's with Xiao Chen. Lan Xinxin shrugged. I feel like I'm pushing him too hard, what? Wang Peifeng's eyes widened and looked at Lan Xinxin incredulously. Did Xiao Chen say this? You two are already doing it? Isn't it good to be tight? Oh, by the way, didn't you say that he can't do it? Or is it because he can't do it that you said so? What nonsense! Lan Xinxin was stunned for a long time before she understood what Wang Peifeng meant. What are you thinking? I say, did I force him to do the checkup too much? What are you thinking? Sorry, I misunderstood. Wang Peifeng was a little embarrassed. Can you be more serious? Lan Xinxin said, if you don't have any good ideas, go back to the outer martial arts world and continue your cultivation. I don't need you anymore. Hey! Xinxin, you're burning the bridge after crossing it. I came back to visit my family. I don't have much time, and I'm here to act with you. Aren't you too heartless to chase me away after using me? Wang Peifeng said sadly. Forget it, I won't talk to you anymore. I'm leaving. Lan Xinxin started the car. Although Xiao Chen could fly on his sword, he still booked a plane ticket. It was too shocking to use these abilities now. It was better to be normal. In Lan City, Su Chuxia and Tian Sauer's residential building had not been haunted for many days. It was as if everything before was a dream. There were no more strange things happening in the elevator, and there were no footsteps in the middle of the night. The property management company sent a few bold security guards to be on duty in the building for several consecutive nights, but nothing happened. This time, it was finally confirmed that the haunting was over. Everyone guessed that although Li Xian didn't defeat the female ghost, she was on par with the female ghost. The female ghost was afraid of Li Xian. She was afraid that Li Xian would come back to deal with her, so she left. In this way, the haunting ended. Many of the neighbors who had moved away came back. Some of the residents who had sold their houses regretted it, but since the paperwork was done, there was nothing they could do about it. It could only be said that Tian Suruan was courageous, bold, and lucky. Of course, among these people, there was one person who was not satisfied, and that was Wu Lixing. He hesitated for a long time and could not help but call Tian Suruan again. "Hello, is this Miss Tian?" After the call went through, Wu Lixing was thinking about how to get Tian Suruan to return the house to him. "Oh, it's Mr. Wu. What's the matter?" Tian Wangshou also saved Wu Lixing's phone number, so he knew it was him. "It's like this. Can you return my house to me? I don't have a place to live anymore," Wu Lixing said. "Oh, I'm afraid that can't be done. I promised to return it to you before, but you don't want it anymore. Are you torturing me back and forth?" Tian Wangshou was a little angry when she heard Wu Lixing's voice. Previously, she did sympathize with Wu Lixing, so she agreed to return the house. However, Wu Lixing was fickle, so Tian Wangshou was too lazy to care about him. This kind of person was obviously a person who wanted to take advantage of others but was unwilling to take risks. It was not because he was in trouble. "Miss Tian, I'm begging you. Please reconsider." Wu Lixing could only pretend to beg for money. "Okay, I still have something to do. I'm hanging up." After Tian Wangshou finished speaking, she directly hung up the phone. "Hello? Hello? Wait!" Wu Lixing hurriedly shouted. At this time, there was no sound on the other side of the phone. He could not help but scold, "Damn, stinking bitch, how dare you hang up on me? Humph, how dare you cheat money from me? Let's wait and see." "Wangshou, who was it?" Su Chuxia saw that Tian Wangshou hung up the phone angrily and could not help but ask. "Sigh, don't mention it. It's that Wu Lixing. He was the one who wanted to sell the house to me. Now that the house is fine and not haunted, he wants to buy it back. What kind of person is he?" Tian Wangshou said angrily, "It's all thanks to my darling. Humph, what's wrong with me earning a sum of money from it? You really have the nerve to return your boyfriend. It's obviously fake." Su Chuxia teased. "It doesn't matter whether he's real or fake. Anyway, he has nothing to do with Wu Lixing," Tian Wangshou said. "You're right if you want to say that." Su Chuxia thought about it and nodded. "But if you offend such a despicable person, don't ruin our relationship. How dare he? Xiao Chang will kick him to the southern heavenly gate." Tian Wangshou did not care at all. Su Chuxia thought about it and agreed. It was good enough that Xiao Chang did not find trouble with others. Who would dare to find trouble with him? However, that night, something unexpected happened. At around midnight, the two of them were sleeping soundly when they suddenly heard a faint knock on the door. The knock was very soft. If one did not listen carefully, they would not be able to hear it. However, in the dead of night, one could still hear it after a long time. Tian Wangshou woke up to go to the toilet and felt that something was wrong. He quickly went back and woke Su Chuxia up. "Wangshou, what are you doing?" Su Chuxia looked at Tian Wangshou in a daze. "Is it morning? But it's still dark outside. Is it smog? Chuxia, listen. Is someone knocking on the door?" Tian Wangshou said in a low voice. "Knocking on the door?" Su Chuxia was stunned. She said weakly, "Wangshou, are you dreaming?" "It's not a dream. Chuxia, listen carefully. Tian Wangshu pointed in the direction of the door. Oh. Su Chuxia yawned. She wanted to ignore Tian Wangshu, but at that moment, she also heard a soft knock on the door. Dang dang dang, this sound woke Su Chuxia up a lot. She frowned and listened carefully. After a while, she said, "Could it be someone else's house? We live in an elevator building. The knocking sounds from upstairs and downstairs won't travel so far. Also, our neighbor's house is mine now." Tian Wangshu said, "Chuxia, do you think the ghost is back? Don't talk nonsense. Didn't Xiaochang recruit the ghost as his subordinate?" Su Chuxia glared at Tian Wangshu and said, "It might be the wind. Go to sleep, don't think so much." No. Chuxia, listen carefully. It's definitely knocking on the door," Tian Wangshu said with certainty. "Okay, let's go to the living room to take a look." Su Chuxia had no choice. Since she was already awake, she got up and went to the living room with Tian Wangshu. The two of them didn't turn on the lights, and their movements were very light. After arriving in the living room, the two of them looked in the direction of the anti-theft door at the same time. Dang dang dang. There was a soft knock on the door again. The two of them immediately clasped their hands, and their breathing became slightly rapid. As expected, someone was knocking on the door. This was indeed the sound of knocking on the door. But it was already so late. Who would be knocking on the door? And the knocking sound was so soft. Let's go and take a look. Su Chuxia hesitated for a moment and said firmly. She didn't believe that the ghost would dare to scare her unless it wanted to die. Xiao Chen wasn't a coward. Killing people and ghosts was just a piece of cake. Okay. Tian Wangshu also agreed. The two of them tiptoed to the anti-theft door and looked through the peephole. However, they didn't see anything. There was no one outside. Su Chuxia shook her head, indicating that there was no one outside. Tian Wangshu didn't quite believe it. He also looked outside, and there was indeed no one. Dang dang dang, at that moment, there was another knock on the door. Immediately, the two of them broke out in a cold sweat. At such a close distance, they clearly felt that the sound came from the door, but there was no one outside. What was going on? The two of them were so frightened that they nearly fell to the ground. Tian Wangshu finally couldn't help but exclaim, "Who is it? Who's outside?" However, there was no answer, and the knocking stopped. When she said this, she was still looking through the peephole, but there was still no one outside. "Chuxia, what's going on?" Tian Wangshu's voice was trembling. Su Chuxia shook her head. She didn't know either, and she was very afraid. She forced herself to calm down and said, "Let's contact Xiaochang, yes. Tian Wangshu immediately nodded in agreement. Outside the door, Wu Lixing leaned against the wall. The angle was parallel to the door, so he couldn't see what was happening through the peephole. He revealed a sinister smile. When he heard Tian Wangshu's exclamation, he was secretly pleased. B*TCH, didn't you not want to return my house? I'll make sure you sell your own house to me. Just you wait. From today onwards, don't even think about sleeping well at night. I'll torture you to death. Wu Lixing was an unscrupulous businessman. He made money by buying houses and speculating on them. In the past, he would often pretend to be a ghost and knock on the door in the middle of the night, forcing the owner to sell the house as soon as possible. This trick was tried and tested. After waiting for a while, he realized that there was no movement in the house, so he prepared to knock on the door again. The reason why he was so daring was because he had scouted the terrain in advance. On the upper floors, there would be a maintenance door on each floor. The maintenance door could fit one person. Therefore, if Su Chuxia opened the door, he would immediately hide behind the maintenance door. No matter how hard Su Chuxia searched, she wouldn't be able to find him. Knock, knock, knock. Wu Lixing knocked on the door gently again. Just as a sly smile flashed across his face, he suddenly felt someone pat him from behind. Who is it? Wu Lijue was shocked. He quickly turned around and saw a pale woman standing behind him. Are you new here? The pale woman asked softly. Her voice was hollow, making one feel weak. It was as if the voice came from hell. Chapter 763. What newcomer? I'm the owner of this place. My name is Wu Lijue. Wu Lijue said calmly. Although this woman looked a bit weird, he wasn't afraid of a woman. Oh, I see. The woman nodded and turned to leave. Wu Lijue breathed a sigh of relief. He was about to continue to scare Tian Suru, but his gaze suddenly stopped. Because he found that when the woman left, she didn't walk, but floated away. Her feet didn't seem to move. When he was stunned, the woman suddenly turned her head and looked at Wu Lijue. No, I haven't seen you, you. Wu Lijue was trembling. Where did this woman come from in the middle of the night? Bang, a flame appeared in the woman's hand. The woman suddenly floated over, only half an arm's distance from Wu Lijue. Ah. Wu Lijue suddenly screamed. He now understood that this woman was not a human at all. The flame in her hand was clearly the eerie phosphorescence that could only be seen in the cemetery. Moreover, this woman's movement speed was extremely fast. It wasn't something that ordinary people could do. What's your name? Are you a new Een cultivator? Or a ghost cultivator? This is my territory. The woman said faintly, how long have you been dead? Why do you still have the breath of a living person on your body? Wu Lijue ran in the direction of the elevator. He finally knew that this woman was the female ghost in this building. However, he didn't know when the elevator that was still parked here had gone to another floor. Even if Wu Lijue called for the elevator, he had to wait for a while. He didn't dare to wait. He ran to the stairs of the emergency exit. He didn't dare to look behind him and ran down desperately. Why are you running? A voice sounded in Wu Lijue's ear. Wu Lijue turned his head and found that the female ghost was floating down with him. Big sister, I was wrong. I'm a human, not a ghost. I'm not here to snatch the territory. I'll leave. I'll leave immediately. I'll never come back. Wu Lijue sat on the ground and peed. He was really scared. Oh? Are you a human? The woman was a little surprised. Then if I throw you to your death, you will be a dead person. With that, the woman lifted Wu Lixuan and floated towards the window. Wu Lixuan, who weighed more than 50 kilograms, was as light as a bottle of drink in the woman's hand. In the blink of an eye, she reached the window. Wu Lixing peed his pants. He was now sure that this was definitely not a human. This woman could float while carrying him. If she wasn't a ghost, then what was she? Big sister, don't kill me. I have children and old people. Wu Lixing cried with snot and tears, I don't want to die yet. I was wrong, there are young and old at the top. Is your family growing backwards? How do you cultivate? The woman asked curiously. No, I said it wrong. Wu Lixing blurted out in a hurry. Forget it, you're just an ordinary person. Goodbye. After the woman finished speaking, she directly threw Wu Lijue to the ground and quickly floated up the stairs. In the blink of an eye, she disappeared. Wu Lixuan scrambled downstairs. When the woman went upstairs, he naturally didn't dare to go upstairs. He almost rolled down. Out of the unit door, Wu Lixuan panted heavily and sat on the ground. He couldn't stand up. "Sir, what's wrong with you?" A security guard on duty came over and looked at Wu Lixuan, who was panting, and asked, "Do you need to call an ambulance for you?" "No, no, it's okay." Wu Lixuan shook his head weakly. "Why is there still a ghost upstairs? Don't joke around. How can it be haunted?" The security guard's face sank. Now these owners didn't make trouble, and this kid said that it was haunted. How could these security guards be happy? Moreover, they had been on duty for a few days, and they didn't see any ghosts. Naturally, they didn't believe his words. "Forget it. I don't have a house here anyway. I'm leaving." Wu Lixuan waved his hand, calmed his mood, and walked to the parking lot. "You're crazy." The security guard scolded behind him. His attitude toward Wu Lixuan was completely different from before. Fortunately, the house was sold. I didn't expect it to be haunted. I was scared to death." Wu Lixuan got in the car and quickly started it and left. He didn't dare to come again. The woman was naturally Nie Xiaoyu. Tian Suruan was so scared that he contacted Xiao Chen, so Xiao Chen contacted Nie Xiaoyu and asked her to see what was haunted. At a glance, she found out that it was Wu Lixuan. After Wu Lixuan ran away, Nie Xiaoyu knocked on Su Chuxia's door. After a while, Tian Suruan's vigilant voice came from inside. "Who is it?" "It's me, Nie Xiaoyu." Nie Xiaoyu said, "Young hero Xiao asked me to come. I've scared away the person who pretended to be a ghost." "Ah, it's you. I've heard of you." Tian Suruan had heard of Nie Xiaoyu, but he had never seen her before. He quickly opened the door and saw a woman with a pale face standing at the door. She was quite pretty, but she looked slightly awkward. She seemed to be exuding coldness from all over her body, and she looked unapproachable. "You, come in." Tian Suruan let Nie Xiaoyu enter the door. "No, there are too many people in your room, and my strength is not enough. After entering, my cultivation progress will be affected." Nie Xiaoyu shook her head. "That person said his name was Wu Lixuan, but I scared him away." "Ah. It's Wu Lixuan. It's him." Su Chuxia exclaimed after hearing this. "This bad guy. He wanted to take back the house from Suruan, so he used such a despicable method. Fortunately, you helped. He really met a real ghost. It's good that he was scared to death." Tian Suruan was amused. "I'm not a ghost. I'm a yin cultivator. In fact, I'm similar to you, but I have some yin qi on me, so I look like a ghost." Nie Xiaoyu shook her head and explained. "Oh, we didn't mean to make fun of you. We just think you're very powerful." Su Chuxia quickly explained. "No, I didn't think so. I just don't want you to be afraid of me." Nie Xiaoyu said, "Young hero Xiao has done me a great favor, so I will take care of you. I don't want you to be afraid of me. If there's anything, you can come upstairs to find me." Oh, we know." Tian Suruan smiled and pulled Nie Xiaoyu's hand. "We're not afraid. We're on the same side. What's there to be afraid of? But, your hand is really cold." He. Nie Xiaoyu smiled. "Then I'll go back. You guys rest early. Thank you so much for today's matter. Otherwise, Swan and I would have been scared to death." Su Chuxia walked Nie Xiaoyu to the door. "This is what I should do. You don't have to be so polite." Nie Xiaoyu smiled. Tian Suruan's matter was successfully resolved. Xiao Chen had already returned to Songning. He stood under the somewhat cold villa and was filled with emotions. Once upon a time, this lively villa gave Xiao Chen too many memories and warmth. This period of time was unforgettable for Xiao Chen. Although he lived with eldest young lady and Jean Bebe for a short time, Xiao Chen understood eldest young lady's character. If he missed such a good fiancée, Xiaochen would regret it for the rest of his life. Xiaochen cherished the ambiguous time when they were newlyweds. Although they didn't do anything and didn't confess to each other, Xiaochen knew that he and eldest young lady had some feelings for each other. However, because of the matters at home, neither of them mentioned it. Finally, these barriers were removed, and the Quishan sect appeared. Shaking his head, Xiaochen put these thoughts aside. He pushed the door open and walked into the villa. The hall of the villa was dark. Xiaochen's room was also dark and deserted. Only a faint light came from the second floor. Xiaochen walked upstairs. It turned out that Yi Xiaoye's door was not closed. When he walked over, he heard a dog barking. Then, Yi Xiaoye asked vigilantly, "Who is it?" "Old 6, it seems that only a woman lives here," Xiaochen said in a pinched voice. Then, he changed his voice, "I'm so lucky today. I'm robbed of money and sex. Come on, come on. I can't wait any longer." Yi Xiaoye shouted in a coquettish voice. Xiaochen was stunned. What's going on? Is it a trick to lure the enemy? This woman is asking us to go in. Although Xiaochen was confused, he continued to pretend and said, "It looks pretty good. Let's go in quickly." Yes, come on. I've already taken off my clothes and waited." Yi Xiaoye's voice was filled with excitement and expectation. Not to mention, Xiaochen really heard the rustling sound of clothes being taken off. He was stunned. Is this for real? Old 6, this woman is so proactive. Is there a trap? Xiaochen probed, I think so too. Why don't we retreat? Alright, Xiaochen, stop pretending. Hurry up and come in for dual cultivation. Yi Xiaoye was a little impatient, I've already taken off my clothes. Why don't you stop wasting time? That's strange. Xiao Yi, how did you know it was me? Xiaochen walked into Yi Xiaoye's room and saw that Yi Xiaoye's clothes were taken off to the side. She was covered with a quilt, and the invincible dog was walking around on the floor. The invincible dog stopped barking after one time. Obviously, the people in this villa are back. It's impossible for Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei to come back. Who else could it be? Yi Xiaoye said disdainfully, you are really good at pretending. It turns out that this guy sold me out. Xiaochen kicked the invincible dog out, turned off the light in the room, closed the door, and went to bed. The invincible dog groaned pitifully outside the door and ran away. Time flew, and it was dawn in the blink of an eye. However, Yi Xiaoye didn't bother to avoid Xiaochen at all. She curled up in the quilt and lay beside Xiaochen. Hey, why did you come back this time? Chapter 764. I have something important to talk to you about. You asked me to dual cultivate as soon as you came back. It's almost time for public relations. Xiaochen laid down beside Yi Xiaoye and wanted to hug her. However, he suddenly remembered that he and Yi Xiaoye were not a couple at all, so he stopped awkwardly. I don't have the guts to do it. Yi Xiaoye glanced at Xiaochen's hand in the air and asked, what is it? You know that the Devil Gate conference is about to start, right? Xiaochen said. Oh, I know. It's the election for the Devil Gate leader. Didn't I say it before? The gate leader is basically a member of the Quishan sect. It's not interesting at all. I don't even want to go. Yi Xiaoye yawned dispiritedly. I might as well sleep. Sleep later. Xiaochen pushed Yi Xiaoye. I have to go. What are you going to do? Oh, right. Are you going to run for the Devil Gate leader? Have you made a decision for me? Yi Xiaoye immediately woke up and looked at Xiaochen with bright eyes. You're thinking too much. Look at my strength. Can I run? Xiaochen shrugged. You might as well send me to my death. Okay, then what are you going to do? After Yi Xiaoya knew the inside story, she actually gave up on the idea of letting Xiao Chen participate. She was just joking just now. Think of a way to cause trouble. I'm now the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, Yang Jiannan. I accepted such a mission. Xiao Chen was a little helpless when he said this. After killing Yang Jiannan, I still have to pretend to be him and continue doing things. So that's how it is. Yi Xiaoya knew about Xiao Chen pretending to be Yang Jiannan. After hearing this mission, she was a little speechless. You guys really think of destroying the Devil Gate Conference? Do you think it's possible? Even if it isn't heavily guarded, it should at least be filled with experts. If you cause any damage, don't even think about leaving alive. Although it doesn't seem very realistic, we still have to go and take a look. Do you know how to get there? Where will the demon sect grand meeting be held? Xiao Chen actually knew that it was even harder to cause destruction than to register for the evil cult sect master election, but he had to go and take a look. In Wutan Town, another name there is Demon Gate Village. It's a small town formed by some outer sect disciples of the Demon Gate after they left the Demon Gate. Almost all the people there are connected to the Demon Gate, and some of the Demon Gate's activities are also held there. Yi Xiaoya said, if you really want to go, I'll ask the sect to help you sign up. Otherwise, you really can't participate in the Devil Gate Festival at this time. What do you mean? If I don't run for it, I can't watch? Xiao Chen was stunned. That's not it. It's just that the number of invited guests is limited. The invitations were sent out as early as a month ago. As a candidate for the Demon Gate Saintess, I naturally have an invitation. Some of the big shots of the Demon Gate also have an invitation, but you don't. Yi Xiaoya explained, of course, the contestants are an exception. As long as you sign up, you can go. That Wutan Town, can't I go without these two identities? Xiao Chen was a little surprised after hearing it. You can go to Wutan Town, but you can't enter the territory of the grand meeting. When the time comes, you will definitely enter with your identity. Otherwise, you can only listen from the periphery, said Yi Xiaoya. Then sign up. Xiao Chen didn't care. Anyway, it was just an identity that made up the numbers, so it didn't matter. And then I'll talk to the sect. Yi Xiaoya nodded. Anyway, you already showed up at the Righteous Demon Summit. Everyone knows that you are from our Demonic Star sect. Then, when are we going to Wutan Town? Xiao Chen wanted to see it in advance so that he could observe the terrain and make plans in advance. If he could cause damage, he could plan an escape route. It's up to you. I have nothing to do anyway. Yi Xiaoya shrugged, but the quilt on her shoulders was shrugged off. Her chest was exposed, but it was quickly pulled back. Don't look. It's not like I haven't seen it before. Xiao Chen retracted his gaze with some regret. I'll get tired of looking at it all the time. I have to keep it fresh so that you can come to me often. Your strength is so high now. I've just reached the 7th stage of inner force after working hard. You can already kill the demon general. How can I chase after you? Yi Xiaoya complained bitterly. I'll just chase after you, Xiao Chen said with a smile. You're so annoying. What are you thinking about? I'm not talking about chasing after that. I'm talking about chasing after strength. Yi Xiaoya rolled her eyes at Xiao Chen. Hee hee. Xiao Chen laughed. Then let's pack up and leave. By the way, what about Invincible Dog? Is it at home? It can't starve to death, right? It won't starve to death. By the way, your dregs are almost used up. Can you boil some more? Yi Xiaoya suddenly thought of something. Damn, Hongzhu has gone back. I didn't ask her for more medicinal herbs. Now that I'm strong, some ordinary medicinal herbs have no effect. Xiao Chen said, but since this dog likes to eat, I'll just boil some medicinal herbs for it to eat. That's fine. It doesn't seem to be picky. Anything is fine. Yi Xiaoya nodded. Xiao Chen nodded. He got up and put on his clothes. He said to Yi Xiaoya, "You pack up. I'll go buy some medicinal herbs. Then we'll leave." "Okay." Yi Xiaoya replied. Little Red Pharmacy. Xiao Chen hadn't been here for a long time. Looking at the familiar pharmacy, Xiao Chen pushed the door and walked in. He didn't expect it to be opened so early. But to Xiao Chen's disappointment, Xiao Chen didn't know the people in the pharmacy. It was a middle-aged man and a young apprentice. Seeing Xiao Chen, the young apprentice immediately greeted him enthusiastically. "Welcome. What kind of medicine would you like to buy?" "I want some Chinese medicinal herbs." Xiao Chen was a little dispirited. He casually named a lot of medicinal herbs. Anyway, it was for the dog to eat, so he didn't pay much attention to it. Although the young apprentice was surprised as to why Xiao Chen wanted to buy so many medicinal herbs, he didn't ask much. He followed Xiao Chen's instructions and bought the medicinal herbs. "How much?" Xiao Chen asked as he took the medicinal herbs. "Mister, may I ask your surname?" the middle-aged man suddenly asked. "Oh?" Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. He didn't try to hide it. "My surname is Xiao. May I ask if you have another surname with the surname Bai?" The middle-aged man's eyes lit up and he quickly asked. "White Fox?" Xiao Chen asked in a strange tone. "Then it can't be wrong. Miss Zhu has already told me that you don't need to spend money to buy medicinal herbs." The middle-aged man said. "Please sign here to confirm it." The middle-aged man said and took out a booklet. After recording all the medicinal herbs Xiao Chen bought today, he pointed to the blank space at the back of the booklet and said to Xiao Chen. "No problem. Many thanks." Xiao Chen didn't mince his words. He and Hongzhu were already very good friends. Besides, although the medicinal herbs he bought today were many, they didn't cost much. They were all ordinary goods. Xiao Chen took the medicinal herbs and left the pharmacy. When he returned to the villa, Yi Xiaoya had already put on her clothes and was cooking noodles. Xiao Chen picked up the electric clay pot and cooked several pots of medicinal herbs for Invincible Dog. As for the medicinal soup, he didn't throw it away and put it in a jar. In any case, the medicinal dregs could be eaten, so the medicinal soup would definitely not be a problem. These were Xiao Chen's basic medicinal herbs. The bitter fruit was Yi Xiaoya's. By the time he finished, it was already night. Xiao Chen stretched his waist and said, "Should we leave overnight or rest for the night?" "Let's take a rest. I just broke through the 7th level of inner strength. I still need you to help me consolidate it." Yi Xiaoya pulled Xiao Chen to the bed, to go for dual cultivation. The next morning, at dawn, Xiao Chen and Yi Xiaoya set off. He didn't return to the Xiao family. First, he didn't leave for a long time. Second, he was afraid that Wang Tietio would send someone to monitor nearby. If they saw him coming back, it would be troublesome. Although Xiao Chen didn't know the way to Wutan town, Yi Xiaoya knew. Xiao Chen drove fast all the way. After a day of driving, there were no normal roads ahead, but village roads. Why is this place so old? Why don't we build a better highway? With Wutan town's strength, it shouldn't be a problem, right? That's true, but I'm afraid that some backpackers and people who like to explore will go to Wutan town. This way, there will be no road. The road is not easy to walk, and there is no map. It is difficult for tourists to go there. After all, the outer martial arts world is also hidden compared to the secular world. Yi Xiaoya explained. Xiao Chen nodded in realization. It was true. If a place full of cultivators suddenly had a lot of ordinary people, it would be really troublesome. The route that Yi Xiaoya directed was very difficult to drive. Fortunately, Xiaochen drove a Land Rover SUV, so there was no problem. After a night of driving, they finally saw a small town not far away in the morning the next day. When they got closer, they heard people's voices. The cultivators here really got up early. Okay, just park the car there. Yi Xiaoya pointed to a parking place not far away and said to Xiaochen. Oh? Xiaochen was slightly surprised. Can't we continue to drive in front? Why stop here? It's free here. Further ahead is the paid parking lot set up by the Outer Martial Arts Guild. It costs tens of thousands a day. Only a fool would park there. Yi Xiaoya obviously knew this place very well. Okay. Xiaochen smiled bitterly. He had been a fool several times before. After parking the car, Xiaochen and Yi Xiaoya got off and walked there. Sure enough, they saw another parking lot when they got closer. The words, Outer Martial Arts Guild Paid Parking Lot, were written on it, but even so, there were still many cars parked here. Xiaochen estimated that besides the nouveau riche cultivators, it was the first time they came here. This looks like a gathering place for cultivators. Back then, when I was in a town near the Hakuna Matata desert, the situation there was similar, Xiaochen lamented as he observed the lively scene around him. At that time, Cheng Menjing and the others had not left. In the blink of an eye, only Yi Xiaoya was left. Chapter 765. Yes, this is a town formed by cultivators. It is not on the map, and it has been many years. There is an array set up by an almighty in the town. The satellite map can't see it at all. Yi Xiaoya explained, but they are all formed in the past. The latest ones can't be seen. The satellites can capture them, and there is no confidentiality. It can only be treated as an ordinary town and can't hold any large-scale important sect activities. An array could actually block the satellite? How powerful must the Almighty be to set it up? It was unimaginable. Xiaochen suspected that it was done by a cultivator. Where are we staying? Asked Xiaochen. There is an inn here. The price is more expensive than a 5-star hotel in the secular world, but it is not too ridiculous. Yi Xiaoya said, if you don't have money, of course, you can go back to the car to sleep. Let's find a place to stay first and then investigate the surroundings. I have to plan an escape route. Xiaochen looked around the town. There were plains, lakes, and mountains. The mountains were the best place to escape. The plains and lakes were too easy to find targets. Sure. Yi Xiaoya agreed. The two of them found a good but not the most high-end inn and checked in. Then, they casually ate a mouthful of food and strolled in the direction of the mountains. The demon sect grand meeting had not started yet, and the cultivators here had nothing to do. Therefore, there were many wandering around like Xiaochen and Yi Xiaoya. No one paid attention to them at all. Just as Xiaochen and Yi Xiaoya were leisurely, a bald fat man in the joyful clan was furious. Motherf *Ker, he actually said that I stole the extraterrestrial meteoric iron? I, the smiling Mithraea, am F*King Sinister, but I wouldn't do such a shameless thing, right? How F*King embarrassing is this? Motherf *Ker, who spread this news? Many people present saw it. It was Long Face and the people from the Greenrock sect who said it. A joyful clan disciple answered weakly and carefully. It must be that bastard Long-Faced who framed me. The smiling Mithraea slammed the table. He joined forces with the people from the Greenrock sect to deliberately tarnish my reputation. That's for sure. Yes, I think so too. Regardless of whether the joyful clan's disciples thought so or not, they all knew that this smiling Uncle Master was a person who cared about his reputation. There would definitely be no harm in going along with what he said. As expected, the smiling Mithraea said, "You think so too, right?" Then there was no doubt about it. It was this horse-faced man. How infuriating. This Greenrock faction ruined my plans and even dared to join forces with my sworn enemy to defame me. I will never let them off. Investigate. Find out the names of those brats. You must find them for me. Yes, disciple will do it right away. Since the smiling Maitreya was infuriated, the joyful clan's disciples naturally moved at full speed and began investigating the identities of Xia Shibin and Xiao Chen. Previously, although the smiling Maitreya was robbed of the extraterrestrial meteoric iron, he didn't think much about it. He only secretly bore a grudge against the Greenrock sect and didn't immediately want to take revenge. But now, he couldn't. He had to teach them a lesson. The joyful clan had many disciples. They had many eyes and ears and channels. Soon, there were results of the investigation. The disciple from before came to the smiling Maitreya's room again and said respectfully, "Smiling Uncle Master, there are results." "Oh? Tell me quickly." The smiling Maitreya pointed at the disciple and asked. "I didn't find out their names, but there is an important clue. According to what someone saw previously, these people aren't from the Greenrock sect." The disciple said carefully. "What? Not from the Greenrock sect? Then which sect are they from? Why are they with the people from the Greenrock sect?" The smiling Maitreya was puzzled. "It's like this. The acting sect leader of the Greenrock sect said that he is actually the root of this group of people. This group of people claims to be from the Kuei Mountain sect. Moreover, many people saw that after they came to the auction hall, they were very close to the people from the Kuei Mountain sect and kept chatting." The disciple relayed. "What? The Kuei Mountain sect?" The smiling Maitreya frowned immediately. Although it was true that he cared about his reputation, he also knew his place. He still didn't dare to provoke a behemoth like the Kuei Mountain sect. After all, the Kuei Mountain sect was the organizer of the Demon Sect Grand Meet. They also had the support of martial arts sections. Even the candidate for the Demon Sect leader this time would be from the Kuei Mountain sect. In this case, the smiling Maitreya really couldn't go against the Kuei Mountain sect. However, he was not willing to let it go just like that. After thinking about it, the smiling Maitreya waved his hand at the disciple and gestured for him to leave first. Then, he muttered to himself, "The Demon Sect Grand Meet is about to be held. The people from the Kuei Mountain sect will definitely be there. I'll go and sound them out first and make a decision after seeing the situation. Come." The smiling Maitreya made his decision and immediately called for people. After the disciple left, he returned to the room and looked at the smiling Maitreya with some doubts. "Uncle Master Smiling, you called for me, get ready. I'm going to Wutan town personally this time," said the smiling Maitreya. Uncle Master, didn't you say that you weren't going?" The disciple was slightly stunned. "Why? Can't I go now?" The smiling Maitreya frowned. "No, that's not what I meant. The people from the joyful clan have already left." "Master, if you want to go, you can only go alone," the disciple hurriedly explained. "Oh, that's not a problem. Pack up and follow me," said the smiling Maitreya. "Ah. Yes." The disciple was instantly overjoyed. It was a rare opportunity to accompany the elders of the clan on a trip. If he could receive a few pointers along the way, he would benefit immensely. Even without pointers, the cultivation resources that the clan subsidized were plenty. Moreover, if he had a good relationship with a certain elder, it was also the capital to show off in the clan. The joyful clan was not far from Wutan town. They arrived at their destination on the same night. They came to the most luxurious inn in Wutan town, the Demon Gate Inn. The smiling Maitreya was a person who valued his reputation. Naturally, he had to stay here on a trip. Even the disciple enjoyed a feeling of nobility. I heard that the people from the Kuei mountain sect are staying here too. Asked the smiling Maitreya. I'll go and find out now. The disciple hurriedly went to find out more information. Not long after, he returned and said to the smiling Maitreya, Uncle Master, I've found out that the Kuei mountain sect disciple Xiaofan who spoke to the auctioneers at the previous auction is here too. This person's status in the Kuei mountain sect isn't too high. What do you think? Oh, help me invite him over. The smiling Maitreya thought for a while and said. Yes, I'll go now. The disciple nodded and went to invite Xiaofan. Indeed, as he said before, Xiaofan's status in the Kuei mountain sect was not very high. If the smiling Maitreya had invited someone like Ma Wuji, he would definitely not have come. However, when he invited Xiaofan still went gladly after hearing about it. During this period, Xiaofan was very active. He went up and down, so everyone in the sect would look for him. Senior brother smiling face, I wonder why you're looking for me? Xiaofan walked into the room with a smile. Although he was puzzled about why the smiling Maitreya was looking for him, one more friend meant one more path. He had to consider for the secular Cheng family. Junior brother Cheng, you're here. Sit. The smiling Maitreya smiled and pointed to the seat opposite him. Hurry up and serve junior brother Cheng some tea. Yes. The disciple quickly poured hot tea and stood by the door, observing the movement outside to prevent anyone from eavesdropping. Senior brother smiling face, you're. Xiaofan saw that the smiling Maitreya was so serious and even asked the disciple to guard the door. He was a little suspicious and did not know what the other party wanted. Junior brother Cheng, I'll cut to the chase. We're both demonic cultivators, so there's something I want to ask you. If you can tell me, then tell me. If you can't, I won't force you. Don't hurt our friendship because of this. The smiling Maitreya said. Oh. I wonder what it is. Xiaofan thought to himself, what kind of friendship do we have? If you didn't have something to ask me, you probably wouldn't even know me, right? But he said, as long as I can tell you, I'll tell you. Good, straightforward. Junior brother Cheng, I, the smiling Maitreya, will definitely be your good friend. If there's anything in the future, junior brother Cheng, just tell me. I owe junior brother Cheng a favor. The smiling Maitreya laughed. But these words made Xiaofan's heart tremble. He just said that he would say what he could, but the smiling Maitreya used words to seal his mouth. It meant that he owed a favor, so he had to say it even if he didn't want to. This made Xiaofan secretly complain. But he could only say, senior brother smiling face, please say it. It's like this. You may have heard that I was framed at the previous auction. The smiling Maitreya said. Oh. Xiaofan naturally heard that the smiling Maitreya was much stronger than Yang Jian's meteoric iron, but this had nothing to do with him, so he just took it as a novelty. At this moment, he nodded and said, yes. Yes, the long-faced man and those guys who won the meteoric iron conspired against me, pretending that I stole it. Damn it, I'm so angry. The smiling Maitreya was angry when he said this. Everyone knows that I, the smiling Maitreya, care about my reputation the most. How can I rob someone halfway? Even if I want it, I won't fight with a junior. That's true. Xiaofan echoed, but he still couldn't figure out why the smiling Maitreya was looking for him. What I want to ask now is that I heard that the people who won the meteoric iron are from your Quishan sect? Someone saw you talking together before, and you tacitly acknowledged their identity? The smiling Maitreya finally got to the point. Ah. Xiaofan suddenly understood. It turned out that the smiling Maitreya thought that Yang Jian was from the Quishan sect. But he wanted to refute, but he didn't dare to speak casually. Chapter 766. The smiling Maitreya could not be offended, but could he afford to offend someone from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? That was even more so. The Qing family still had to rely on them in the future. If he betrayed them now, wouldn't they become mortal enemies in the future? Junior brother Cheng, is it hard to say? The smiling Maitreya asked Cheng Zhongfan with a smile. This. Cheng Zhongfan's mind raced as he tried to think of a countermeasure. After hesitating for a moment, he gritted his teeth and said, "Actually, it's not that I can't say it, it's just that it's a little hard to say." Oh. The smiling Maitreya knew that Cheng Zhongfan was negotiating, and it was not that he really could not say it. He immediately smiled and said, "Brother Cheng, don't worry. If you have any problems in the future, you can look for me directly. This is our personal friendship." "Alright, I'll say it then." Cheng Zhongfan sighed and said, "I didn't say it before because I suffered a great loss in the hands of this person." "Oh? As a disciple of the Kuei Mountain faction, you suffered a great loss in the hands of someone else? In that case, this person isn't from the Kuei Mountain faction?" The smiling Maitreya's eyes widened in surprise. "That's right, his name is Xiaofan. He's not from the Kuei Mountain faction." Cheng Zhongfan did not dare to offend Yang Jiannan. He vaguely knew that Yang Jiannan and Xiaofan had a grudge against each other, and so did Xiaofan. In for a penny, in for a pound, in for a pound. He directly blamed it on Xiaofan and planned to use the smiling Maitreya to kill Xiaofan. "Oh? What do you mean?" The smiling Maitreya squinted his eyes and asked. "It's like this." Cheng Zhongfan told him about the grudge between him and Xiaofan, as well as the time Xiaofan extorted 100 million from him. Finally, he sighed and said, "It's so embarrassing. My Kuei Mountain faction can't do anything to a small family's disciple. How sad. I even have to abide by a 3-year agreement." "You mean you're afraid of him, so you had no choice but to cover for him and say he's from the Kuei Mountain faction?" The smiling Maitreya frowned. "That's right. That's why I was too embarrassed to say it before." Cheng Zhongfan nodded. Xiaofan is especially good at impersonating others. At that time, he impersonated the deputy chief of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, Yang Jiannan. This person is also Xiaofan's enemy. He must have wanted to pin the blame on Yang Jiannan. "Oh? The person he was pretending to be was Yang Jiannan?" The smiling Maitreya was shocked. "Yes, that's the situation. Xiaofan is a vengeful person. It must be because you bid against him, senior brother smiling face. That's why he conspired with the long-faced man to kill you." Cheng Zhongfan analyzed. "According to what you said, it really is the case." Smiling Maitreya believed most of it. Actually, as long as Xiaofan wasn't from the Quishan sect, everything would be fine. He nodded in satisfaction and said to the disciple at the door, "You heard it too, right? Go and inquire about this Xiaofan, then come back and report." "Yes." The disciple obeyed and went to inquire. It was impossible for smiling Maitreya to completely believe in Cheng Zhongfan's words. He also wanted to inquire about this Xiaofan and see what the situation was. Of course, he couldn't say it directly, but just hinted at it. Then, smiling Maitreya said to Cheng Zhongfan, "Thank you, junior brother Cheng. If there's anything in the future, don't hesitate to ask." "Well said." "Thank you, senior brother smiling face." Cheng Zhongfan was overjoyed. He didn't stay any longer. He got up and cupped his fists to bid farewell. After leaving the room, Cheng Zhongfan quickly returned to his room. He took out his phone and prepared to take credit from Yang Jiannan. He successfully diverted smiling Maitreya's attention and shifted his hatred to Xiaofan. Yang Jiannan should be very happy when he finds out, right? He dialed the number, but it was not in the service area. After a long time, he finally got through. At this time, Xiaofan had just returned to the inn. The signal in the mountains was not good, so he didn't receive the call. Mr. Cheng Zhongfan? What's the matter? Because Cheng Zhongfan dialed the public number of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, Xiao Chen and Cheng Zhongfan's conversation had to be disguised as Yang Jiannan's. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, how are you? It's like this. I have something good to tell you. Cheng Zhongfan laughed and said. Oh? What's the good thing? Xiao Chen was stunned. It's like this. Today, I met Smiling Maitreya of the Joyful Clan. Then, he asked me about you. Cheng Zhongfan said. Asked about me? What's going on? Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat as he interrupted Cheng Zhongfan. Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, listen to me. It's like this. As he spoke, Cheng Zhongfan told him what happened previously, including how he successfully shifted his hatred to Xiao Chen, F*CKU, Motherf*Ker. After listening to it, Xiao Chen almost cursed out loud. Are you F*King sick? Shifting it to me again and again, and it's even more troublesome than before. After all, Yang Jiannan was alone, and he had the Supernatural Investigation Bureau behind him. He didn't need to be afraid of anything. However, Xiao Chen's identity was different. There was still the Xiao family. However, although Xiao Chen was annoyed, he couldn't say anything to Cheng Zhongfan. He couldn't tell him to look for Smiling Maitreya of the Joyful Clan to change his story, right? That wasn't realistic. Even if he said it, it would only make things worse. Alright, I got it. Xiao Chen hung up the phone plainly. Oh? Deputy Bureau Chief Yang? Cheng Zhongfan was a little stunned. Why does it sound like Yang Jiannan is very indifferent? It doesn't seem to be a big deal. Isn't this a good thing? Cheng Zhongfan couldn't figure it out. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Chen immediately said to Yi Xiaoye, who was taking a shower in the bathroom, Little Yi, hurry up and leave. Something happened. Don't stay here anymore. What happened? Yi Xiaoye was a little puzzled. It can't be explained in a few words. Let's walk and talk. Xiao Chen said in a hurry. I'm covered in bubbles now. At least I have to take a shower. Although Yi Xiaoye was puzzled, she still agreed. Hurry up. Xiao Chen said, I'm going to check out first. You wait for me in the room. Okay. Yi Xiaoye responded. After Xiao Chen finished speaking, he went downstairs. Because the deposit here was not small, and Xiao Chen didn't want to leave quietly, it would affect the Devil Star sect, so it was better to check out. Shopkeeper, I want to check out. Xiao Chen said to the shopkeeper downstairs. Didn't you just check in? Why do you want to check out? Is the environment not to your liking? The shopkeeper looked at Xiao Chen and was a little puzzled. If the room is not good, there's still a better room. Oh, we have something to do at the last minute. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and said calmly. Alright, but although you didn't stay for a full day, the room fee still has to be charged based on a day. This is non-negotiable. The shopkeeper said, I'll settle it for you now. At this moment, outside the door of the inn, the Smiling Maitreya walked over quickly. Are you sure they are staying here? Yes, according to the registration records of the Devil Sect's Grand Meeting, the Devil Star Sect's Xiao Chen is staying here. The disciple nodded affirmatively. As the fact that the White Fox was Xiao Chen had long been exposed, Xiao Chen didn't need to appear as the White Fox again. The registered name was naturally Xiao Chen, but the Joyful Clan disciple found out directly. He actually dares to mess with Long Face. A small secular family disciple actually dares to be so arrogant. This time, I must make him a cripple. The Smiling Maitreya sneered. He had suffered such a big loss. As someone who cared about his reputation, how could he not get back at Xiao Chen? Wouldn't he be laughed at to death? Therefore, he was already letting Xiao Chen off easy by making Xiao Chen disabled. That's right. Cut off his legs and penis, then cut off his arms and turn him into a human stick. Let's see if he still dares to frame Uncle Master. The disciple said. Junior Xiao Chen, I'm coming. The smiling Maitreya laughed and then strode towards the inn. As a cultivator, Xiao Chen's 6 senses were sharp. Although the others in the inn couldn't hear the conversation between the smiling Maitreya and his disciple, Xiao Chen had heard it. His heart skipped a beat. Xiao Chen thought to himself, don't tell me they are here so soon. He didn't hesitate and made a prompt decision. Innkeeper, I still have something to do. I'll take my leave first. I'll come back to collect the money later. You can clean the room tonight. Oh. The innkeeper was stunned. It'll be ready soon. Aren't you going to wait? No. Xiao Chen had already walked upstairs quickly as he spoke. At this moment, the smiling Maitreya and his disciple pushed the door open and walked into the inn. Secretly thinking that it was a close shave, Xiao Chen increased his speed to the limit. Innkeeper, I have a question for you. The smiling Maitreya walked in and asked the innkeeper directly. Oh. The innkeeper's heart skipped a beat. The strength of this person's advanced demon general was revealed. He didn't dare to be negligent. What's the matter? There is a Devil Star sect disciple named Xiao Chen staying here, right? Asked the smiling Maitreya. Oh. Let me check. How exquisite was the innkeeper's businessman. He knew that the smiling Maitreya was here to seek revenge, but this kind of grudge had nothing to do with him as a businessman, so he didn't want to offend either side. He deliberately delayed a little time. He was being extremely benevolent, and he wouldn't hide it and offend the smiling Maitreya. Go ahead and check. The smiling Maitreya was very satisfied with the innkeeper's attitude. He was a person who cared about his reputation. If the innkeeper was hesitant and refused to do as he said, then he might be furious. But now, he enjoyed it very much and looked around proudly. I found it. There is indeed such a person, said the innkeeper. Which room is he staying in? Asked the smiling Maitreya. Upstairs, room 503, said the innkeeper. Are they in the room? Asked the smiling Maitreya. Yes. The innkeeper nodded. Thank you, tip. The smiling Maitreya nodded and said to the disciple. Then, he strode upstairs. After the disciple heard it, he quickly took out 2 stacks of bills from his backpack and gave them to the innkeeper. Then, he ran upstairs with the smiling Maitreya. Chapter 767. The shopkeeper naturally accepted it and shook his head. He had done what he could. Whether Xiao Chen could run away depended on his luck. However, it seemed that Xiao Chen knew that someone was looking for him, so he left in a hurry without taking the refund money. But how did he find out? Standing at the door of room 503, smiling Maitreya asked his disciple to knock on the door, but there was no movement from inside. He was a little confused, so he couldn't help but knock on the door himself. However, there was still no movement from inside. Quang dang. Smiling Maitreya directly kicked the door open and rushed in. In the room, the window was open, and there was water vapor in the room, with the fragrance of a bath. Obviously, there was someone in the room before, but now they had escaped by jumping out of the window. Smiling Maitreya immediately rushed to the window and drove to the street downstairs. A man was pulling a woman whose hair was still wet and running. Damn, he ran away. Let's chase. Smiling Maitreya jumped out of the window directly, and his disciple followed closely. When Xiao Chen returned to the room, Yi Xiaoye was still wiping the water stains on her body. She was shocked when she saw Xiao Chen coming in. She even teased him and told him not to look. However, in a hurry, how could Xiaochen have time to appreciate this? Xiaochen quickly picked up Yi Xiaoya's clothes and roughly put them on her. As for her underwear, he didn't have time to wear it. He just put on a coat. During this period, he inevitably touched some parts that shouldn't be touched, but Xiaochen didn't have the time to think too much. After he was done, he pulled Yi Xiaoya and jumped out of the window. Hey, Xiaochen, what are you doing? Do you want to drag me to death? Yi Xiaoya's hair hadn't dried yet, so she asked uncomfortably. Someone is chasing me. Hurry up and run. Xiaochen said in a hurry. Ah. It can't be, right? What the hell is going on? Yi Xiaoya was shocked. Is this the reason why Xiaochen was in a hurry to check out? It seemed like he had discovered something earlier. But now, even though Xiaochen ran very fast, he still felt that someone was chasing behind him. He turned around and saw that it was indeed the smiling Maitreya and his disciple running over. The speed of these two people made Xiaochen groan inwardly. Although Xiaochen was a cultivator, his running speed was not much faster than these cultivators. Moreover, whether it was the smiling Maitreya or his disciple, their strength was far higher than Xiaochen's. One was an expert at the peak of the 10th level of the great perfection of the demon general realm, and the other was an expert at the great perfection of the demon master realm. Although Xiaochen could kill the latter, the two of them were competing in speed with him. Xiaochen was somewhat stretched. In addition, Yi Xiaoya's speed was not as fast as Xiaochen's, which further slowed down their overall speed. Ah, Xiaochen, you run by yourself. I can't. I can't run fast, and I'll drag you down. Yi Xiaoya also felt that the two people behind her were very fast. If she continued like this, she would definitely affect Xiaochen, so she was ready to give up. He shouldn't be looking for me. He won't make things difficult for me. You think too simply. If he can't catch me, he will deal with you. How could Xiaochen give up on Yi Xiaoya? Let's not talk about the ambiguous relationship between the two. Even if there wasn't, with the situation that Yi Xiaoya had helped him many times, Xiaochen couldn't easily give up. Xiaochen directly picked up Yi Xiaoya, carried her on his shoulder in her exclamation, and continued to run forward. Xiaochen, you can't run away. If you know what's good for you, stop and let me cripple you. As for your friends and companions, I don't want to make things difficult for them. The smiling Maitreya was getting closer and closer. Moreover, Xiaochen had now run out of the town and was running in the direction of the mountain range that he had scouted before. He wasn't afraid of being heard by others because there was no one nearby. Xiaochen didn't answer and continued to run. Cripple? Unless he was stupid, he wouldn't let himself be captured. Fortunately, he had scouted an escape route as soon as he came. He didn't expect that it would not be useful in the Demon Gate conference, but it would be used in advance. Every debt has a debtor. I don't want to make things difficult for you, but if you don't stop, don't blame me for crippling your companions when I catch up with you. The smiling Maitreya said coldly, you also know that I am an upright person. I will do what I say. Although I disdain to make things difficult for juniors and innocent people, now that you are running together, you are accomplices. Xiaochen's female companion, listen carefully. If you don't want to suffer together, persuade and stop Xiaochen from continuing to run. This is the right way. Yi Xiaoya wouldn't help him persuade, but she was anxious in her heart. Xiaochen, they are getting closer and closer. What should we do? Even if we continue to run, we will be caught sooner or later. You better put me down. Xiaochen took a look behind him and cursed, F***ck me. He looked around and saw that there was no one else other than the two people behind him. He gritted his teeth and slapped his waist, summoning his flying sword. He carried Yi Xiaoya and jumped onto the flying sword, driving the flying sword towards the mountain range. Old bald donkey, chase me. Xiaochen smiled coldly, if you have the ability, then get a jet to chase after me. You're exhausting me to death. Yi Xiaoya didn't know what was going on. When she saw Xiaochen casually waving his sword, and the two of them flew into the sky, she was shocked. What kind of magical martial arts technique was this? She had never seen it before. How could it fly? Even with a flying-type magic artifact, only a very high-level cultivator would be able to use it. What level of strength did Xiaochen possess? Moreover, ordinary flying instruments were flying carpets or small spaceships. How could there be a sword like Xiaochen's? Uncle Master, they are flying. The disciple chasing behind exclaimed in horror. I can see it. You don't have to tell me. The smiling Maitreya's face was gloomy. His trademark smiling face was now gloomy. Then, what should we do now? Should we still chase? The disciple saw that his uncle master was angry and couldn't help but ask carefully. Chase my A**s. Can we catch up? The smiling Maitreya stopped in his tracks. Uncle Master, how can they fly? How did they do it? Looking at Xiaochen and Yi Xiaoya who had become small dots in the distance, the disciple couldn't help but ask curiously. He should have a flying instrument. But looking at his current strength, he is at most a level 4 or level fiend master. How can he use a flying instrument? At this point, the smiling Maitreya couldn't help but feel envious. And this flying instrument looks very small. Although I didn't see it clearly, it is definitely a good thing. Uncle Master, do you mean that we should snatch it? The disciple asked with shifty eyes. Of course, even if they snatched it back, it would have nothing to do with this disciple. But if they could help their Uncle Master snatch a Dharma treasure, the sect would definitely reward them handsomely when they returned. We can't even catch up with them. Snatch, my foot. The smiling Maitreya sneered and said, Go back now and immediately send a message to all the joyful clan disciples in Wutan town. Surround the corner of the mountain range and start searching the mountain. I don't believe that they won't come down after going up. This mountain range could only be climbed on one side. The other side was a precipitous cliff with an endless sea below. Therefore, it was impossible for Xiaochen to leave from the other side. If he wanted to leave, he could only go down the mountain from this side. Therefore, the smiling Maitreya watched from afar and then sent the disciple to find people to search the mountain. He didn't believe that they could hide forever. Anyway, there was still some time before the demon sect grand meeting. These joyful clan disciples had nothing to do here. He might as well let them do the work. Yes. The disciple responded and turned to leave. But he was stopped by the smiling Maitreya again. Wait. Send a message to the sect again and ask our joyful clan disciples to come here in large numbers. This flying instrument is mine. The smiling Maitreya instructed. If it was just to get back at them previously, he definitely wouldn't have mobilized all the disciples of the sect. But now, for the sake of the flying instrument, he was already a little crazy. This was a good thing. Yes. The disciple quickly answered. Also, remember to keep your mouth shut. Don't say what you shouldn't say. The smiling Maitreya reminded. In this Wutan town, there were many sects that were not weaker than the joyful clan. If there were too many people and the news of the flying instrument was spread, what if other sects came to snatch it? Wouldn't that be making a wedding dress for others? I understand. The disciple also knew that the situation was serious. He answered seriously and turned to leave. The smiling Maitreya squinted his eyes and stared at the mountain range from afar. Xiaochen vaguely saw that the smiling Maitreya and his disciple had stopped and heaved a sigh of relief. He brought Yi Xiaoya and landed on a towering tree on the mountain range. Phew. Xiaochen let out a long sigh. It's fine for now. That scared me. Oh right, Xiaochen, how can you fly? Your flying instrument is so strange. Why is it a sword? Yi Xiaoya looked at Xiao Chen with some surprise. I seem to have mentioned it to you before. I'm not an ordinary cultivator. I'm a superpower user. Xiao Chen said. Oh. So it was a superpower before? Yi Xiaoya suddenly widened her eyes. This sword is actually not a magic weapon? It's a magic weapon, but it's made by me. It's not very valuable. It's just a broken sword sold in a handicraft shop. Xiao Chen actually coveted that piece of extraterrestrial meteoric iron. If that thing was used to refine a flying sword, it should be very useful, right? However, that material was now given to the research institute. It was not good for Xiao Chen to keep it for himself. If there were leftovers after the research, Xiao Chen did not mind taking some back. After all, refining a flying sword didn't require too much material. Just a small piece was enough. As long as the sword body was made of extraterrestrial meteoric iron, the sword hilt could be made of any material. But now was not the time to think about this. Xiao Chen's first task was to think about how to escape the pursuit of the smiling Maitreya. Now that some of his strength had been exposed, especially the flying sword. Previously, Xiao Chen's biggest headache was how to explain the flying sword. If everyone knew that he was a cultivator and came to find trouble with him to study him, then Xiao Chen could only live a life of escape again. Chapter 768. But now listening to Yi Xiaoya say that there was a flying magic weapon, this was a very good excuse. So that's how it is. I thought it was a flying magic weapon that I could also drive. Yi Xiaoya suddenly felt a little regretful after listening. That's right, Xiao Yi, tell me in detail what a flying artifact is, its uses and characteristics, its specific value and how to control it. Don't leave anything out. Xiao Chen needed to understand all this before he could disguise the flying sword as a flying artifact. Hey! You don't know? Yi Xiaoya was stunned, and then said, yes, you didn't know anything about the martial arts world before. You didn't even know martial arts. Now that your strength is high, I subconsciously thought that you knew everything. Now that I think about it, you are still the same as before. Yes. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly and said, I have said that I am a paranormal, not a cultivator. Naturally, I don't know these things. In order not to attract attention, I have to know about flying magic weapons. A flying magic weapon is a kind of magic weapon that is controlled by the cultivator's mind. The cultivator who uses it must have a strong mind that can resonate with the magic weapon. Only then can they drive it. Yi Xiaoya explained, however, this kind of magic weapon was made in ancient times. Now, very few cultivators can make it, including some sects that specialize in casting weapons. They can only cast some relatively solid weapons for martial arts cultivation. They can't turn it into a magic weapon. No wonder. Xiao Chen nodded. Meteoric iron was a good material. Although it was precious, the competition was not particularly fierce. Perhaps it was also related to the fact that it couldn't be used to refine magic weapons. If it could be used to refine magic weapons, I am afraid that no matter how expensive it was, it would be crazy to fight for it. But now, there was no need to fight to the end. However, Yi Xiaoya's words made Xiao Chen very happy. Since the magic artifact was powered by a cultivator's will, no one would be able to find any problems with his flying sword. In any case, there was no way to power it. It all depended on one's talent. Xiao Chen breathed a sigh of relief. In Xiao Chen's view, this thought should be something similar to spiritual sense or spiritual force. As for the specifics, he was not a cultivator, so he could not understand it. Are we going to stay here forever? Yi Xiaoya couldn't help but ask as she looked at the rolling mountains and dense forests around them. The smiling Maitreya is still at the foot of the mountain. We can only stay here. Xiao Chen sighed. He was definitely no match for the smiling Maitreya, even if it was a sneak attack. Where is it? Why didn't I see it? How do you know? Yi Xiaoya looked down the mountain but found nothing. Don't forget that I'm an esper. Xiao Chen did not explain too much. His six senses were powerful, and he could vaguely see the figure at the foot of Smiling Maithreya mountain. However, he did not know where the disciple had gone. Then let's not waste time. Let's do dual cultivation. Yi Xiaoya thought about it and suggested. Xiao Chen did not refuse, but he glanced at Yi Xiaoya lecherously. It's daytime now. Aren't you afraid that I'll peep? If the Smiling Maithreya stays here all the time, we can't go down. What can we do if we look? Maybe we'll die here for the rest of our lives. Yi Xiaoya shrugged. Besides, I'm the only one here. There are no Shen Jingxian, Tang Tang, or Cheng Menjiang. You can only continue to look if you're tired of it. You have to look even if you throw up. Well, okay. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. What did it have to do with the eldest lady? He had not seen it. Yi Xiaoya directly took off her clothes. She was a devil cultivator. She was also flexible on the tree branches. Her movements were not affected at all. Xiao Chen also took off his clothes and began dual cultivation with Yi Xiaoya. Dual cultivation with Yi Xiaoya now was actually a one-sided improvement for Yi Xiaoya's strength. It did not benefit Xiao Chen much, because her strength was too low. The gap between her and Xiao Chen was too big unless she caught up one day. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, a few hours had passed. The disciple sent by the Smiling Maithreya came back. Behind him was a group of people. Obviously, they were the helpers, the disciples of the joyful clan. Greetings, martial uncle Smiling Face. The disciples hurriedly cupped their fists and greeted. Junior brother Smiling Face, why did you call us all here in such a hurry? What's the matter? A tall, bearded cultivator came over and asked. He was the leader of the joyful clan in this devil sect grand meeting. He was also the senior brother of the Smiling Maithreya. His nickname was Old Daoist Dian Long. Senior brother Dian Long, come over and talk. The Smiling Maithreya could hide it from these disciples, but there was no way to hide it from Old Daoist Dian Long. However, the rules of the joyful clan were very clear. That was, whoever found the magic treasure belonged to him. Even if other disciples helped, they would only be rewarded by the clan after returning, and would not get a share of the treasure. Of course, if there were many treasures and someone took the initiative to share it, then it was another matter. Therefore, the Smiling Maithreya was not afraid of Old Daoist Dian Long robbing him of his treasure. Oh! Old Daoist Dian Long was slightly stunned. Then, he and the Smiling Maithreya came to a nearby place where there was no one. After looking around, he said, if you have something to say, just say it. The person who framed me at the auction has been found. He is in this mountain. The Smiling Maithreya lowered his voice. That's not right. It's just a chase after a small enemy. Do you have to mobilize so many people? Old Daoist Dian Long was stunned and looked at the Smiling Maithreya with a puzzled look. Senior brother Dian Long, you don't know. The reason why I'm mobilizing so many people is that this kid has a flying magic treasure. The Smiling Maithreya said, moreover, it looks very exquisite and advanced. He, a devil master level cultivator, can actually activate it. This magic treasure is not simple. Oh. Is it true? He has such a magic treasure. Does he have any background that we can't afford to offend? Old Daoist Dian Long was stunned and asked with some concern. Of course not. Don't worry, senior brother. I have investigated clearly. This guy is called Xiao Chen. He is a disciple of a small family in the secular world. Although he also has a martial arts background, he is just a nominal disciple of the Devil Star sect. The Smiling Maithreya said, such a person is nothing to be afraid of. So that's how it is. Congratulations, junior brother. You got such a good magic treasure. Old Taoist Dian Long said enviously. This kind of flying magic treasure was very rare in the sect. Even he did not have one. However, he also knew that it was useless to covet it. The sect rules were there. If they wanted to violate it, their senior brother would definitely punish them. When senior brother goes out to do something, you can lend it to senior brother. Although the smiling Maitreya also knew the sect rules, it was another matter if old Taoist Dian Long would work hard to help. Therefore, he directly gave him some benefits. Oh? Really? Old Taoist Dian Long was delighted. He then nodded and said, "Don't worry. Senior brother will definitely help you to kill this enemy. Then, I will have to trouble senior brother." The smiling Maitreya was overjoyed. In his opinion, that flying magic treasure was already in his pocket. The joyful clan disciples surrounded the bottom of the mountain. There was a sentry post at a certain distance. The smiling Maitreya did not have to watch from afar like before. He was much more relaxed. However, he also knew that it was not a solution to just watch. Xiao Chen was a cultivator. He would not starve to death in the mountain. He could simply eat anything to satisfy his hunger. If he wanted to waste time with him, it would not be a problem even for 8 to 10 years. Therefore, he waited for the other joyful clan disciples to come and conduct a large-scale search of the mountain. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. Xiao Chen did not move at the bottom of the mountain. Every day, he cultivated with Yi Xiaoya. Other than his own strength not improving, he had a lot of luck with women every day, or more accurately, it should be a feast for his eyes. On this day, there was another group of people at the bottom of the mountain. This made Xiao Chen immediately alert. Even his and Yi Xiaoya's cultivation stopped. What's wrong? Yi Xiaoya felt that Xiao Chen had stopped. She opened her eyes and asked. There are some people at the bottom of the mountain again. Xiao Chen frowned. I don't know what new ideas the smiling Maitreya has. Actually, although Xiao Chen said so, he could roughly guess in his heart. Probably the smiling Maitreya could not wait any longer and wanted to bring people to search the mountain. But in this way, Xiao Chen would be in danger. With so many people, it was hard to guarantee that he would not be discovered. Although he could step on the flying sword and run, Xiao Chen was not willing to do so. Now, he had only revealed his trump card in front of the smiling Maitreya. If everyone knew about it, it would be meaningless. Moreover, with so many people here, who knew if there would be something that could counter his flying? For example, a bow and arrow. Or perhaps, they also had flying Dharma treasures. At the thought of this, Xiao Chen could not help but feel a little regretful. He thought that after he went up the mountain, he could drag it out with the smiling Maitreya. When the other party lost his patience, he would definitely leave. If he had known that this would happen, he might as well forcefully break out of the encirclement and fly out in another direction. Thinking about it, the smiling Maitreya would not be able to catch up even if he wanted to. Indeed, Xiao Chen's guess was right. He saw a sage-like man come to the smiling Maitreya's side. The smiling Maitreya was very respectful to him. Then, this man asked someone to carry something that looked like a small boat. The smiling Maitreya and Taoist Dian Long boarded it. After that, the sage-like man also boarded the small boat. Then, the small boat slowly rose into the sky. It was actually a flying Dharma treasure. Ha! The sage-like man shouted. The small boat began to fly at an extremely fast speed. It casually circled the foot of the mountain twice. When Xiao Chen saw this, he felt a chill in his heart. This speed was almost on par with his flying sword. The only advantage he had was completely gone. This made Xiao Chen secretly complain. He had missed the best opportunity to escape, but it was useless to regret it. Now, he could only think of a countermeasure. However, the only thing that made Xiaochen feel at ease was that the small boat could not rise too high. This was different from the flying sword. Therefore, as long as Xiaochen floated, the other party should not be able to do anything. However, Xiaochen's body had limited yuan qi, so he could not keep floating. Therefore, this was not a good solution. The only thing he could do now was to take one step at a time. At the foot of the mountain, the smiling Maitreya sat in the eldest senior brother's flying shuttle. He was very relaxed and happy. "Eldest senior brother, I didn't expect you to come personally. You even brought a flying Dharma treasure. This time, that kid Xiaochen will not be able to escape." Chapter 769. Yes, we don't have many flying instruments in our sect. Now that you've discovered one, it's a great thing. This is a big matter for the sect. Naturally, I have to come and help. This sage-like man was the eldest senior brother of the joyful clan. In his eyes, it was no longer about personal gains and losses, but the sect's gains and losses. He was going to enter the upper echelons of the sect in the future. If he was not the sect master, he would be the deputy sect master. Therefore, as long as there were benefits for the sect, he would spare no effort. What's more, according to the sect's rules, although the magic tool belonged to the discoverer, after the discoverer passed away, the magic tool would be passed on to the disciples of the sect and could not be given to outsiders. Therefore, in general, it belonged to the sect. "Thank you, eldest senior brother, for your help," smiling Maitreya said excitedly. "Yes, I'll let the joyful clan disciples start searching the mountain now. Then, we'll take the flying shuttle and patrol back and forth. Once the disciples send a message, we can rush over immediately," said the eldest senior brother. "It's all up to you, eldest senior brother," smiling Maitreya quickly responded. The eldest senior brother was a man of his word. With a few instructions, all the joyful clan disciples got into action. Very soon, a large number of disciples started to go up the mountain to search. Smiling Maitreya and old Taoist Bian Long boarded the flying shuttle with him and hovered above the mountain range. As the flying shuttle didn't fly very high, it was impossible to overlook the entire mountain range to search for people. Moreover, even if they could overlook it, without professional aerial photography equipment, they didn't have sharp sixth senses like Xiaochen. They couldn't see the situation below clearly from such a long distance. "Quickly put on your clothes. This is bad," Xiaochen said to Yi Xiaoya anxiously. "Ah. What's wrong?" Yi Xiaoya was at a loss. "More people are coming. They're coming up the mountain," Xiaochen said. "If I'm not wrong, it should be smiling Maitreya who got reinforcements from the sect. Moreover, their target isn't just me, but my flying sword. That can't be. What should we do now? Fight with them or continue to run?" Yi Xiaoya was a little worried when she heard it. "But the sea is over there." The sea. Xiaochen didn't know if there were any islands in the middle of the sea. If he kept flying without a place to rest, his vitality would definitely be exhausted and he would fall into the sea and die. "We definitely can't stay here. Let's observe the situation first. It would be best if we can kill one or two joyous clan disciples and wear their clothes to fish in troubled waters." As they spoke, the two of them had already put on their clothes. However, if the enemy did not move, they would not move. Xiaochen was still on the tree. As long as the joyful clan disciples did not discover them, there was no need for them to take the initiative to move. As Xiaochen was deep in the mountains, the joyful clan disciples would not be able to find him for a while. Yi Xiaoya was bored to death. She leaned on Xiaochen and said, "I will sleep for a while. Wake me up when they come." Xiaochen nodded and looked around vigilantly. After about half a day, footsteps could be heard nearby. 3 joyful clan disciples were walking towards them. Xiaofan was slightly shocked. However, Xiaofan was confident that they would not discover him so easily since he was on the tree. However, when they walked closer, Xiaofan was speechless. This was because each of the 3 disciples was holding something similar to a handheld instrument in their hands. As they walked, they kept scanning around. Biological detector. Xiaofan was shocked. He reckoned that it was something like this. It was very likely, and it seemed to be very advanced. The detector would not give an early warning to some small flying birds and insects. It would only flash a red light. Xiaofan was originally hoping to get lucky. However, when the 3 of them walked closer, the detector suddenly emitted a sharp beep 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 sound. "Who is it? Come out." The tall disciple who was leading the group shouted and looked around vigilantly. Xiaofan secretly thought that this thing was really advanced. Science was really different. He had already hidden his breath, but it was ineffective against scientific instruments. Now, the martial arts sex method of finding people was also quite advanced. However, since Xiaofan was on the tree, these disciples would not be able to find him in a short period of time. Therefore, Xiaofan did not plan to jump down immediately. "You don't want to come out?" The tall disciple saw that no one responded and seemed to be embarrassed. "It's fine if you don't want to come out." Junior Ba immediately released the signal to inform the elders of the sect. "They will definitely be able to find him." "Yes." A disciple next to him quickly responded. "Damn it." Xiaofan cursed in his heart. He had no choice but to jump down from the tree. He looked at the 3 of them vigilantly. Junior brother Ba, who had been instructed, also looked at Xiaofan with a faint smile. It seemed like he had no intention of releasing the signal to call for help. Xiaofan saw the greed in the eyes of these 3 people. It was as if in their eyes, he was a prey. "I'm out." "What do you want?" "I don't know you." Xiaofan asked, pretending to be puzzled. "Okay, kid, don't pretend. You are quite bold. You actually dare to provoke Martial Uncle smiling. Aren't you afraid of being beaten to death?" The tall disciple looked up and down at Xiaofan and said, "If you don't want to die, come with us 3. Xiaofan frowned slightly. He was a little confused about the attitude of these 3 people. "I'm just a casual cultivator who came to watch the Demon Gate Grand Meeting. I don't know any Martial Uncle smiling." "You don't know? A casual cultivator? Then what are you doing here?" The tall disciple asked with a faint smile. "I'm just a casual cultivator. Naturally, I'm not qualified to participate in the Demon Gate Grand Meeting. I only knew about it when I came here. Therefore, I walked around this mountain range out of boredom. I hope the 2 young masters won't make things difficult for me." Xiaofan said with his fists cupped. Xiaofan wanted to muddle through. If he could avoid conflict with these people, then he would. From the aura that these 3 people unintentionally released, they were not weak. 2 level 3 devil masters and 1 great perfection devil master. Even if Xiaofan could kill them, it would not be easy to kill all 3 of them at once. "Ha! Lie, continue to lie." The tall disciple sneered and said to Junior brother Ba beside him, "Junior brother Ba, take out the portrait and let him see." "Hee, okay." As he said, Junior brother Ba took out a photo. There was no doubt that it was Xiaofan. Xiaofan's face turned black. He appeared with Xiaofan's original appearance. It was exactly the same as in the photo. This photo was also taken in Songning City. How about it? What else do you want to say? The tall disciple looked at Xiaofan mockingly and mocked. At this moment, Xiaofan immediately pretended to be surprised and opened his mouth wide. The reason why he pretended to be weak was that in Xiaofan's opinion, these few people did not send a message to the sect for such a long time, nor did they force him to make a move. Instead, they were talking nonsense with him. Xiaofan felt that there was something wrong with them and they should be plotting something. Humph. The tall disciple did not talk nonsense anymore. He snorted and said with an unfriendly expression, "Kid, I might as well tell you the truth. We are disciples of the Joyful Clan. If we hand you over to Master Uncle Smiling Face, you will definitely die." Xiaofan pretended to be shocked and said in shock, "Then, how can we not hand me over to Master Uncle Smiling Face? Show me the way. I don't want to die. I didn't mean to offend Master Uncle Smiling Face." This is a little difficult. The tall disciple pretended to be troubled and thought for a moment before saying, "Actually, it's not that there is no way. I heard that you have a Dharma treasure. How about this, you give me your Dharma treasure. If there is really no good treasure in this thing, we will let you go. By then, we will hand over the good treasure. If Master Uncle Smiling Face is happy, he might not pursue this matter anymore. I don't have any good treasure." Although Xiaofan said so, he was sneering in his heart. So they were coveting his flying sword. These three disciples obviously did not know what his treasure was. Smiling Maitreya probably did not tell them either. They must have guessed it themselves, and this excuse was just to take Xiaofan's treasure for themselves. As for handing it over, it was just a nice way of saying it. Don't King reject our kindness. The tall disciple's face darkened and said to junior brother Ba beside him, "Since he is not cooperating, we don't have to be good people. Junior brother Ba, call for help." "Yes." Junior brother Ba took out the communication device and was ready to release it. Wait. Xiaofan looked afraid on the surface, but in his heart, he was thinking about whether to kill all three of them. "What? You think of a treasure?" The tall disciple pinched his chin and looked greedy. "Yes, I do have a Dharma treasure in my hand, but it is something I rely on to escape. I was able to escape from the Smiling Maitreya because of this treasure." Xiaofan said sincerely, "If I give this thing to you, and you don't keep your word and don't let me go, then I will lose my last reliance. I won't be able to escape then." "Oh? What is it?" When the tall disciple heard this, the greed on his face became even stronger. If it could escape from the hands of Master Uncle Smiling Face, it was obviously not an ordinary Dharma treasure, but a real treasure. "Senior brother, do you think the thing in this kid's hand is a flying Dharma treasure?" Junior brother Ba suddenly said, "Look at his weak appearance, it must be a flying Dharma treasure that is known as an escape Dharma treasure." The tall disciple nodded and said, "Kid, you don't have to worry about this and that. Take out the treasure, otherwise we will directly rob it. If you give it to us now, we will let you live, but if you let us take action, then there is no weight to it. If we kill you, it is your bad luck. I will only give you 5 minutes to think about it." "Well, if that is the case, then I can only respectfully obey." Xiaofan sighed and patted his waist. The flying sword was unsheathed and Xiaofan held it in his hand. "What are you doing?" The tall disciple was shocked and pointed at Xiaofan, "Do you want to struggle to the death with us?" You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.